saw Marty Supreme. Did you see that movie? That was
No,
good. That was good.
It is nice though to see Fran Drescher like act again.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think she had been in a movie in like 30 years.
Really?
Yeah, because like, and she was like, before The Nanny, she was like an actual actress. Like, she was the female lead opposite Robin Williams in like 1994 or something.
Way.
She like was a real.
I'm going to be honest with you, completely honest. She was the one actress I didn't recognize. But that's my... I guess that's just my lack of knowledge showing. I was going to say youth, but I think you said we're the same age.
Yeah. Well, her voice is also different now. It's not the nanny
She plays
voice.
his mom, right?
Yeah, she's his mom.
I'm going to look up her IMDb just to see what's going on here.
Yeah, because she was in The Nanny. She was in This is Spinal Tap in 1984. She played Naja.
Oh.
That was like the first big... movie of that genre.
Interesting. Of like spoof. What genre?
Like
Spoof
mockumentary.
Comedy? Mockumentary, yeah.
Yeah, and she also did a
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. She didn't have a big role in that. She just danced with John Travolta a little bit.
Jack with Robin Williams.
And
classic.
Cadillac Man, I think.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Also, Robin Williams.
Cadillac Man was actually good.
I've never seen this.
Yeah.
If you can't trust a car salesman, who can you trust? It's a great point. Wow. So she was in a bunch of great movies. Spinal Tap. She was going to be in the new Spinal Tap. But is that even... Oh, it did come out. It did come out.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like about to come out and it never happened. But it happened. It came out right before he died, which is crazy. Crazy timing on that. He gave a Spinal Tap to Stonehenge on the cover.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
God bless those ancient aliens.
Yeah, right. They brought a Spinal Tap too.
All right.
Folks, hello and welcome
Hi.
to 241 of Ruse Radio, episode 241. Here we are with Margot and a very special guest. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Brown. I am a stand-up comic and a writer and a singer and a nuisance.
Oh, you're a singer. I didn't know you even sang.
Yeah, actually, that was like my artistic life before stand-up.
Oh, before you gave it up and moved into stand-up.
Yeah, before.
You're like, I'm done with this. It's not going to work out.
It wasn't really that it was not gonna work out. It's that the real reason I moved away from music, because I spent 11 to 19 in voice lessons like 4 to 6 days a week.
Wow.
The reason I moved away from it is because the lifestyle is so restrictive.
In what way?
Well, you have to watch what you eat in a great deal. You can't be in air conditioning as much as you can avoid it. You're constantly doing international residential travel.
What kind of singing were you doing, though?
I was an opera singer, classical music.
Okay.
You're constantly doing international residential travel. So you're in Australia for 2 months and then Russia for a month and a half. And then you get 3 weeks off and then you're in Germany and then you're in fucking Chile. I don't have all that in me. I loved the work of it, but the lifestyle would have fucking killed me.
Yeah, because it's almost like being on a diet all the time, but worse.
Yeah, because, you're just incredibly aware of your body at all times.
Yeah.
Because you don't get paid if you don't sing.
And if you can't sing.
Yeah.
It's all about being able to hit the notes at all times.
Yeah, because you're not judged on your best days. You're judged on a normal day.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull that.
Oh, am I?
Beautiful face.
Now
they can see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
And you want to point that thing right at your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember vaguely.
Almost like you're about to gobble on.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I haven't sucked a dick in years.
This is giving me PTSD.
All right. Your favorite uncle.
But yeah, no, singing, it's funny. I have no training at all. And opera singing sounds interesting because, I'm sure... I never knew they took it that serious with like air conditioning, all that.
Oh, yeah, because it dries you out.
Yeah. And I could see how it's all about performing all the time. Because, sometimes your voice just isn't there. It just isn't. And so, like, for me, what I always do in those instances is I just think of it like, okay, so I'm going to have to do something creative here because I have to make this performance happen. And just not. I just can't do that normal thing. And so, or you'll see, like, you know, if you have a song where you're just doing something crazy vocally, maybe when you perform it live, it's not going to be as crazy, but it's still different.
Yeah.
It's about like capturing the moment and finding that moment to me. So it's interesting, this idea of like perfection. And opera, I'm sure, is all about perfection.
Absolutely.
Like, you cannot stray from what it's like, not jazz. There's no improv.
Well, there is a genre of it that does function kind of like jazz, where there is room for a great deal of improvisation. It's called bel canto, and it's from like the early 1800s.
Bel canto.
Yes, which translates beautiful singing. And it was like the time period from like 1800 to 1840 in Italy. And in a lot of that music, there'll be a verse, and then it will repeat, and on the repeat you add a lot of variations. You'll add high notes, you'll add runs, and
just whatever you want to do.
Well, it has to be within the style of the composer. Like, you can't there are things that will sound out of place in a certain composer. You can't ornament Italian music in a French way. It'll sound off to people who know what's going on, but it's what's within the limits of the style that you can do really well. Like, if your low notes are really cool, then you might improvise lower than someone whose high notes are really cool. If you are better at runs that go down versus up, you'll work that in more. It's about showing off what you're the best at that's still like stylistically accurate.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then there's the other version, which is like entirely stick to the script.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like a play? Like, is opera like a play?
Very much. Most of the stories are based off plays. I mean, when you're a lot of the rehearsal is more on the acting and on the stage business than on the singing, really.
And are there people who like are just amazing opera singers that just stand out? There's got to be. Like, I've never dived into opera. There's got to be some like amazing people throughout history with just like the craziest voices. Imagine opera before they recorded it. There's got to be people we don't even will never hear.
Oh yeah, because most of the music that people hear now in an opera house, most of the music that they're going to hear was written between like 1780 and 1910.
Wow.
And we didn't have the recordings until like
the original.
No.
Wow.
So you only know what people wrote about.
That's crazy.
The way that you can connect the idea of what people sounded like and what kind of voice should be doing certain things is when you look back at 1830 and you look at the singer who did this opera the first time. You then look at all the other things that they were known for, and then you notice the commonalities, and then you're like, okay, this person really had to be able to do this, this, and this very well.
Wow. And then, of course, you do have like the actual written music, so we at least know what the music is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
But you don't know like what the voice is. That's crazy. You're
also,
reverse engineering. You're like trying to figure out.
And the recording technology for like the first 30 years of it was not really giving you what people sounded like. Like, if you listen to the old recordings from 1907, 1909, it sounds like they're across the street. You really didn't have recordings, and also classical singers sing without microphones. That's a big part of the training, is to be able to sing without a microphone in a 3,000 seat theater. And so being recorded, it took a lot of work and like dozens of years of figuring out how to do it in a studio, how to do it in an opera house, how to mic an opera house so you can do it there, how far everything needs to be in a recording studio, how the shape of the roof needs to be so sound bounces off right. It took a long time to figure out the like physics, architecture. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And then, I completely forgot about that too, because I mean, that's like, you know, it'd be like if you were in a stadium in Rome and you don't have a mic and you're supposed to be yelling to make sure.
The Arena di Verona. There's a giant arena in Verona that people sing in every summer.
See, so, and that's the least ideal conditions because it's just open. So you have to just yell. It's not like you have this opera house built for this. You are stuck in this field.
These stadiums there was always music, you know, even thousands of years ago. So it's not like they're completely drowned out. It's but it is very much you can't yell, really. You have to trust the acoustic and not push, because everything you do to make yourself louder actually is tension and makes you quieter. You really just kind of have to relax and trust the acoustic.
Interesting.
Because everything that you would do, like when you're yelling, your neck is tense, your tongue is in a knot in the back, all the muscles in your face are, it has to really come from relaxation and from the rest of your body. Whoa. Because if everything up here is tight, you'll just get tired in 5 minutes. You use the muscles in the lower half of your body to not get tired.
Because it's about pacing.
Yeah, because you have to do it for 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
That does make a lot of sense, doesn't it? And don't you appreciate the knowledge that people can bring to you? I mean, that's what I love about making this show, is I can bring people in to this space we got right here, and they can teach me about stuff that I had no idea I was even gonna be interested in at all. And that's what I was feeling as I was listening to our friend here, Matt Brown, talk about opera singing and the techniques and all the intricacies of opera. And I think that's what's so awesome about people in general, is they're just so full of information and you can learn so much from everybody. And I want to keep bringing interesting, amazing, informative people to you. I want to keep making this show the greatest thing in the world. And if you like that same thing, if you enjoy learning from people, if you enjoy peeking inside people's minds and learning about the intricacies of random stuff you never knew about, well, that's what this show's all about. And you got to support it with Patreon, all right? You got to help us out. $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar, and you help this show grow. You help us go to bigger and better places, and I'm doing this for you, so you could do something for me. You get exclusive Patreon content. You get to hear my music early. You get to hear songs that no one else is ever going to hear, and as you can see, you get your name on the screen right here, right now, and at the end of every single podcast episode. I really do appreciate you guys more than anything, and I really do this because I love the community, and I love learning, and I love people. I really, really do. I think it's awesome, and I just want to do this more and more and more and better and better and better. So please help me to do that. If you can't support the Patreon, that's totally fine. I appreciate you guys for even tuning in, for even listening to me right now. So just smash that like button if you would. Hit that subscribe and just keep listening, and we'll keep making magic for you. Now, let's talk a little bit more about opera singing, yelling, and technique. So I used to do this thing, and so I worked at a place called Logan's Roadhouse, and for birthdays, I was so thankful because they didn't make us sing happy birthday, because I hate that at any restaurant. I do not want to sing you happy birthday. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to.
I hate being at the restaurant when other people are being sang at.
Yeah, the whole thing, awful. The whole affair. Like, just make it smooth and easy. Just do a quick little thing, or maybe just bring me something free. Let's not make it this crazy affair where everybody's looking at me. We don't have to do that.
No.
That's my opinion. But we can do something a little fun. Let's just not make everybody... It's the making everybody sing thing. To me, it's just like, come on. Now we're all indulging in this. Like, can we just... So at Logan's Roadhouse, it was... Attention, Logan's Road. So, okay, you would yell and you would say this whole speech, and then everybody's going to say yeehaw. And so what I would do is I would yell as loud as I possibly could. And I mean, this is a bold choice on my end. I'm surprised I really did this when I think about it, because I would scream, dude. Attention, Logan's Roadhouse! We have a birthday over here. So-and-so is turning 45. So here at Logan's Roadhouse, we do not make you sing happy birthday. But on the count of 3, I just need everybody to say, yeah! All right, 3, 2. And I just do it all in like one breath. I just yell that whole thing. And I feel like it's a divisive technique, because some people hated it, but the people that love it loved it. And I know I could only do that for like a minute. Like, there's no way I could yell like that for longer than 30 seconds to a minute. It would actually suck when I would get multiple birthdays a night, because people would keep coming up to me and I'd be like losing my voice. I'd be like, you're gonna have to give me a minute.
That was like your grunge auctioneer era.
I couldn't believe it. It works. Like, they let me do it for way longer than you'd think they would let me do it for. It was going on for a month or 2.
That's crazy, until they were like, baby, We're gonna.
A couple like
bring
old
it in.
people started to complain, and that's when it got bad. It was like when the elderly people were like, "That could have given me a heart attack."
And this is the thing, you learn this young, which is important. If you don't make old people happy, you're never gonna have any money.
That's true. That's true, and that is a problem. You got to make old people happy.
You
gotta make
can
old
hate them
people
as much
happy.
as you want, but at the end of the day, you either need to shut up or be homeless.
Yeah, 'cause-
Like those are your options.
Yeah, and old people like they got street knowledge. That's the thing. Like you gotta game recognize game type
Yes.
situation. Like if you play into their thing, they'll give you some street knowledge.
Well, because you have to remember the people that are 75 and 80 now were like fucking in the 60s and 70s.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I've noticed older audiences are much less uptight sometimes than younger audiences because they fucking remember.
Really?
Like I put a clip out earlier this week, I think, and I from a show, there was a table of 4 older people. They looked like around 65, 70-ish. There were a table of 4 older people in the back, and I said, "Oh, how do you 4 know each other?" And then they kind of stuttered a little bit, and then one said, "We raised our children together." And I said, "Oh, so you invented being poly?" And they were, upside down pineapple people that were trying to dance around it,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're way less uptight because you have to remember, okay, birth control came out in like 1960, 1962, and there wasn't AIDS until 1981 in a widespread way. So you have 20 years where you do not have a single problem that you can't take an antibiotic or a pill for.
Yeah.
They were out there like that.
That's true.
They were out there.
Yeah, people nowadays don't even remember a pre-STD world. They don't even know what that is.
No.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
crazy.
there's never been a pre-STD world, but like...
Well, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It's like smoking indoors. We've never seen that. We've never got to experience
I see it regularly.
Well, the context is different nowadays. Now it's like, oh, he's smoking indoors.
Yeah.
Back then it was like,
Well, okay, if we're the same age... Are you from Illinois originally?
no,
Where are you from?
Michigan.
Okay, do you remember when they stopped letting you smoke indoors?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
When was it? I mean,
I think it was around 2000 in here. I think it was around 2005, 2006.
see, maybe maybe I just didn't even pay attention to it, and so I didn't even notice because I thought it was like the 90s. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was earlier than that.
It may have been in Michigan, but no, I remember sitting in the smoking section of restaurants as a child. I do.
In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what the internet is for. I gotta look that
But,
up
like,
because
it
that
was-
is like a burning question in my mind now.
Illinois indoor smoking law, because I bet it was 2005 or 2006.
When was indoor smoking banned in Illinois? There you
I'm
go.
telling you, it was Bush era.
2008?
It was 2000. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Okay, yeah.
January 1st, 2008. Was it? Now I'm gonna see what
Okay,
it
so
was
I
in
would've-
Michigan.
So I would have been 9, almost 10. That's why I remember.
Late
yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Maybe your parents didn't smoke, and so you just were never in the smoking section of anything.
My dad smoked, but I never was sitting in like the smoking section indoors with him. That I can't believe that.
We like wiped that out of our
Wow.
memory.
I completely forgot because I mean I would have been 12. I was born in 1998, so I would have been 12 years old, 11 to 12. That's like right before gay marriage. That's
Yeah.
like right before.
Oh, don't get me started on that nonsense.
Or is it? When was gay? That was 2008. Yeah, that's the same time. That blows my mind. Truly, I just didn't know that. I really thought it was like the 90s. I just assumed because like it'd be like when I was on the train. If you take the Amtrak train from Michigan to Chicago, it still had the cigarette things
Oh, yeah.
in it for the longest time. And I thought, wow, they haven't updated this car since the 90s. I would always think that,
No, it was probably new.
but it's probably not even that
No.
old. That's
No.
crazy to me. This whole time I've been thinking about it all wrong. I'm glad we had this conversation because I really, really thought, I mean, that's weird because I think that people just adapted that fast. That's what it makes me think about. Like, people don't even really think about a time when you didn't smoke indoors now because everybody just thinks that's wrong.
I don't think drunk driving was illegal until the 80s.
No way.
Yeah, it really wasn't a thing until like
I remember I just saw a video on my phone, and I can't remember like what era it was, but they were interviewing people on the day that drunk driving was about to be enacted.
I think it was in Kentucky, where my family's from. I think I know what video you're talking about.
You probably saw the same one.
Yeah.
And it's just them like talking about like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, come on, we've been driving drunk this whole time. That's basically what they're saying. And that's how it always is. It's like, come on, we've been doing this whole time. We've been smoking indoors this whole time.
I would imagine that everyone that you would know who is over the age of like 65 has a story of their parents driving them drunk in the middle of the day somewhere.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, drunk driving occurred.
Scared.
I don't think drunk driving ever even slowed down. I don't think the law ever really did anything. I think that drunk driving is exactly as it's always been, to be completely honest.
And now that everybody drives high too, it's really just worse, because I think I saw... Oh, damn. I think it was Colorado, because they've had weed legal there long enough to do like longitudinal studies that apparently like the DUI rates have gone up like measurably.
Well, if you're getting people for getting high,
and car accident rates have gone up like measurably. Like I think it was like 15% or 10%, something like that.
Really?
Because everyone's high and your reactions are delayed and you're scared of everything. So you're braking at weird times and you're just,
This is an interesting debate. Have you ever seen the Bill Hicks bit where he's talking about driving while high? Because his whole joke was like...
Is he talking about weed or coke?
Weed.
Okay.
And he's talking about like how... I don't understand why people are worried about people smoking weed and driving. Like, everyone's just going to be going like 20 under the speed limit, like paranoid they're going to break a law.
Okay, that reminds me. Okay, let me tell you the story. So this is why I never smoked weed in high school, and I waited till I was an adult.
Okay.
So when I was a little kid, before my grandma died, she died when I was 12. So this would have happened at like 10 or 11, something like that. She sat me down when I was a little boy, and she's like, Matthew, I want you to make sure that you never, ever smoke marijuana.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, when I was a lot younger, when your grandpa was still alive, in the 70s, one of our friends said, we're going to have a party, but we don't drink anymore. My wife and I decided that we don't drink anymore, and we smoke marijuana now. So if you come over for the party, just know that there won't be any booze in the house, and that's what we're going to do. And so so I didn't really know what it was, so I went right over. And me and your grandfather walked into the house, and there wasn't any music playing, and nobody was talking, and they were just staring at each other. And it was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. So don't smoke weed, because you're going to scare the shit out of everyone. That was the talk I got. Not it's going to ruin your life, not you're going to never work a job or anything. It's just I went to a party and it looked like the Twilight Zone. Yeah. That was the message. Yeah.
Honestly, not an inaccurate depiction of marijuana usage either. Like, she actually kind of nailed it. Like, as a kid, you would start looking at it funny if you heard that, because you would just... That is what happens. A bunch of people get stoned, and then they just kind of start getting quiet and looking around.
And if you're like 10 and you walk into a room of adults and no one's talking, TV's not on, music isn't playing.
They're zombies. Those are zombies.
I'd be fucking scared.
Yeah.
And then also, if I'm like 32 and have no idea what the fuck that is, probably equally scared.
Yeah, that's funny. So, like, what was it like the first time you ever smoked weed as an adult? Do you remember how that went for you?
Okay, so it took a couple times, because some people's cannabinoid receptors are like...
I think that's actually most people.
Activate.
I think most people, the first couple times, you don't actually...
So, the first time I smoked weed in high school, nothing really happened. And then someone offered me like a bowl, very beginning of freshman year of college, and it didn't work. And then in October of 2016,
here we go,
my freshman year of college, I had been friends with this girl, this lovely Ecuadorian girl, and she had a dab rig.
Oh, Lord.
And so the first time I got high was a dab rig.
That's nuts.
And I've never had a problem with like smoking weed working ever again.
That's funny because you were probably
that blew
thinking
my
the
brain
first
out.
couple times I smoked weed, it didn't really work. This dab's probably not even gonna work.
No, I knew. She was like, if you don't get fucked up off this, you need to go to the hospital. Like, she was very much like, if this doesn't work, something is medically wrong with you.
Yeah, because dabbing to me is like the crack of weed.
Well, edibles don't work on me.
Interesting.
To this day, edibles don't work on. No, I could take 200 milligrams and talk to you about like any of the most complicated sociological theory that I had to study.
Do you use THC often?
Yes.
So like, have you ever went a couple days without using THC and then tried an edible?
Even when I was a lot thinner and on tea breaks, they just didn't hit.
Wow. So yeah, because some people really are just like that. They just can't have it. Like I used to think I was like that, and then I realized, oh, I'm just high all the time. I just didn't notice the difference. Like,
Now I will say,
what it was for me.
It has been a while since I took a tea break, but I think I don't know. I'm considering it because. One, it is so much cheaper everywhere else but Illinois. I kind of feel like I'm getting robbed.
Yeah, move on over to Michigan, scramble on back to Illinois.
I did a couple weeks ago. So,
Yeah.
And then also, I don't have much of an appetite when I don't smoke weed. And let me see what I can do about this gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Before I'm in the gym 4 days a week, let's see how much of this is booze and being stoned.
I see.
Let's see.
I see.
Because I don't really know.
Probably a lot of both.
I'm sure it's a good 20 pounds
Yeah.
of just liking to drink and eating in the middle of the night. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's dude, my life is just a constant cycle of smoking weed and not smoking weed. Like that's what happens. Every time I don't smoke weed for like a couple days to a week, I become this different me, and I realize, oh, I'm so stupid. I don't have to do that all the time. And then I smoke weed once again, and I'm like, oh,
I love this. This is who I was born to be.
This is who I was born to be.
Are you afraid of how productive you can be? Do you think that's part of it?
I don't know. Because the thing is, I'm a very productive person, so I almost feel like I'm holding back by doing this. Because I've noticed like there's other people who smoke weed and they just don't do shit. Like, they don't do anything, and it's bad for them to be smoking weed because they're already not productive. And then they're doing. Whereas like I feel like my mind moves quickly all the time. I'm always going.
Yes.
And so for me to smoke weed, it actually like brings me down a little bit, and I kind of like that.
For sure.
So to me, it's like, but I've seen like other people. I'll smoke weed with them, and they lose. They become those people that your mom saw. They don't speak anymore. They get nervous. They don't. You can tell you lost them. You just lost them.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like I have been stoned for the past 10 years and like drunk for the past 7. And I get a lot done.
Yeah.
Like
People are just built different. Some people are just built different and they can do that.
I've lived a very eventful personal life and had like 2 careers go very well at the same time.
Yeah.
While being a mentally ill, unhealthy addict.
See, kids, it's possible, kids.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
You can pull it off.
I am a role and hand model.
Yeah. But it's not easy. Yeah. This is not, it's possible, but it's not easy. You have to like just be, I think of it like, it's like the same way that your brain is able to find the way home when you're drunk driving, and you shouldn't know how to get home. But because you've done it a million times, it's like muscle memory. I think of it the same way. Like once you've done things so many times, I think like it's just not panicking and not going into that mentality of like, oh, this is going wrong. The one thing that gets me is getting crossfaded. If I'm smoking and drinking, I can't do that. That fucks me up.
Oh, really?
It just fucks me up. Yeah. Like it just makes me, I can smoke and I can drink, but if I do, and I don't even really drink anymore, but I can do it. But if I smoke and drink, I'm fucked up. It's over for me.
I don't really have that problem, but I think it's because my understanding of how people interact with substances is completely based on stand-up comedy and comedians.
And how does that affect that?
We go hard in the paint.
Oh, yeah, you guys have crazy tolerances because you're at open mics all the time. And so you're like numbing yourself from the pain of that existence.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just so funny how it works.
Absolutely, it's
like,
awful.
Comedians, it's so hard not to become a drug addict or a substance abuser because you're just at a bar 24/7. You're surrounded.
Yes. The one thing that I do think helped me a lot is that Okay, a lot of comics, because, most people start stand-up, at like 21, 24, 26, something like that.
Yeah, that's true,
And so a lot of them have the experience of never having gotten on stage without at least one drink. Like most of them, because when you're at a mic, there might be a drink minimum, or like, it's just a way of relaxing. And most people are not really acting any different after one, but it's a security blanket.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have kids in your family, when they're learning how to walk, they might keep like 2 fingers on the table. And then as soon as they lift their hand, they fall like they think they need it. But they don't. They're fine.
don't.
It's just up here.
If you always put your hand on the table, you're never going to take your hand off.
But because I started at 17, I had like 3 years of experience on stage without drinking. So I know that I don't need it.
Interesting. I had performed when I was younger on stage, so I'm probably the same way. Because I used to do this type of thing where I would, if I ever had to give a speech or anything, I would turn it into a rap. Like that was my thing.
Okay.
I would make it a rap
because to give it rhythm.
And to me, that's interesting. It's like making it my own. Like I'm taking it and doing my thing with it. And so I think that like those kinds of experiences, I never felt like I need a crutch or anything. Like to me, that's a crutch. That's like, why would I want to rely on something? With that being said, though, I do like smoking weed before I perform sometimes. But it makes me worse, if I'm being honest, because I have to remember all these fucking words. It's hard to remember words when you're high.
Yeah, and I think also rapping is a different skill set.
Oh, yeah, than comedy, yeah.
In a very strong way, because we can mostly freestyle if we want.
Yeah.
That's not why you are booked at a gig.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like there's different types of rappers. But yes, with the type of thing I am doing, it is so specific that like I feel like you are booking me because I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've seen the stuff I've done for like roast battle or anything like this, but it's like I feel like part of what my job is to fine tune it to this event to justify me being there.
Yes.
So it's like stuff like that where a comedian can roll with it and just do whatever they want, whereas like I feel like if I'm going to prove my ability, I don't want to rest that on a freestyle because I can't. Like the freestyle is so risky as a rapper to me because I don't know, like maybe it'll be good, but it might not represent me. Like it might not be the thing that I want you to see first. And so that's like what I did for roast battle, because I had first went to Power Hour and they had the whole thing with the band and freestyling. So I was thinking, how do I freestyle here and not just talk about a bunch of bullshit and make it make sense? And so I would bullet point a bunch of shit everybody says throughout the night and just their sets or whatever.
Yeah.
And I made that the freestyle.
Yeah.
And oh my God, everybody goes crazy. So that's what they wanted me to do at roast battle. So I thought, well, I can't just do that, because if I just do that, I don't know that it's going to be like the magical thing.
Well,
like,
you actually know how to write, so...
Yeah, so then I just wait till they have the lineup, I roast everybody in a rap, and then I do the second thing. So once I've won you over with the rap, now I can freestyle. Because the freestyle is risky. It really is like I never know if that's going to work. But that's what makes it work so well. I like it. And so... Just to your point of it being so specific, like I overthink these things because I think all that stuff matters. I think I do have to be so precise with my words because I do want to prove it before anything. Like I think that's my job, is to win over this room and prove to them I can actually rap, because they are so primed to people who can't rap and like people who say, oh, I can rap, and then it's just the worst thing. Because I've seen that a million times. I know what that is. That's 99% of hip hop is people who can't really rap.
Yeah.
And then maybe they can sound good in a studio, but they cannot perform.
No.
And so to me, it's like proving that first and foremost. And then now that I've won you, but like with comedy, there's so many different avenues to that.
Yeah.
Like that's how I think about it. Like it's like the template for comedy is just an open field essentially, and you can do a million things. Whereas like rap, you're kind of trapped within this specific template. You have to do it that way. I can't just be a comedian and just, I'm going to do it physical this time.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work the same way.
I kind of relate to that sense of, like with music, for me, with music, there's always definite boundaries because it is a theory and a practice, and even things that aren't, even rap is got like actual talent involved. It's got actual vocal acuity. It's got actual music, actual producers.
Yeah.
Even if people don't consider it music like what I did, they're wrong.
They're both
like,
music, and,
yeah.
and I think of it like music
Yeah.
is music is music. Like they're both music in their own right.
But to your point about the precision and then the improvisation, it kind of reminded me of where I was at last year. So last year I put out 2 specials, and I did which I'd always wanted to do that because my favorite comedians, well, some of them, but like 2 of my favorite comedians are Kathy Griffin and Dave Chappelle, and they both have done multiple specials in a year, multiple times.
Oh, when did Chappelle do it?
Around, I want to say like 2018.
Oh, like right around his
2017.
his return. Right,
Yeah,
he came back and then he
yeah.
did a couple. It was the Netflix specials.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then like Kathy was doing anywhere from like 2 to 4 a year for most of my childhood.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, she's done like, she has the Guinness record. She has like 24.
There's a rapper, Tech Nine, and it's just,
Oh, yeah, I like him.
Yeah, his release rate is crazy. I don't know if it's still like it used to be, but he would do an album every year, which is kind of unheard of for a rapper because it's like 20-track albums, and he's doing them annually.
I think NLE Choppa kind of does that now.
And like it's impressive.
yeah, it
Anybody
is,
who
it
does
is.
that is such crazy output for at that scale. You know, to just continue doing it. So yeah, 2 specials a year.
So with the improvisation and preparation side of it, so there's a long special and a short special. My long special, The Funeral Miss Brown on YouTube, is 40 minutes. And then my short special is on CBTV. Comedy Bar owns it. Did it with them, produced it with them.
Okay.
And that is called Chatterbox, and that's like a 12-minute. And the long special, I worked for 5 years on.
Nice.
That is, I am really proud of it because it is the absolute very best I am capable of. I don't think it's the best in the world. If you don't like it, I'm okay with that because I absolutely could not have made it any better. Blood, sweat, tears, shit, piss, cum, everything's in it.
Yeah.
Like heart, soul, all of it. And so that is like the most prepared. That is the most like written down to the comma. That is my ultimate precision. I spent 5 years on it. I wrote over 2 hours of material to get down to that 40 that is tight as a drum for me.
When you say you spent 5 years on it, you were writing that over the 5 years?
So I filmed the special on November 30th.
You pop that door for her. There you go.
So I filmed the special on November 30th of 24.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. November 30th of 24. And I started headlining on the road in December of 2019. So from there to there is where I was working on it because my first headlining gig on the road was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was doing 45 there. And I wrote that 45 hour, toured that throughout the Midwest and the South, then wrote another hour, toured that throughout the Midwest and the South, condensed those into one show.
It's like if they fucked and had a baby.
Yeah. Condensed those into one show, did that around Chicago.
Yeah.
And then cut that to the best 45 of the hour, filmed that, and then edited that 45 down to 40.
Oh, so you even cut 5 out. Huh.
I don't think that my favorite specials that have come out recently are all between 40 and 45. I don't think people are watching hour 15, hour 20, hour and a half comedy specials
No, not
anymore.
unless you're like a name.
And
you got to
even
be a
then.
big name. And
And
even
even
then, yeah.
So I felt like 40 was ideal, and it's just the fat is trimmed. It is as tight as a drum. It is really the very best I'm capable of. I don't know that I would because I know how to do stand-up much more because I'm double the experience than I was in 2019. I don't think I would have to spend 5 years again. I have, after having filmed that special in November of 24, I have 45 to an hour now. I've workshopped that once on the road, and I'm working on getting that really tight this year.
Do you think that you're going to try to have a quick release rate with like specials and stuff like that, like you're saying?
I don't think it's necessarily my goal to have a quick release rate so much as I write and edit at a certain speed that it's sort of, if I want to capture this, it'll go at a certain rate, because I've always had a lot of material, because that was what gave me the freedom to improvise. Because I wrote a lot, I knew that when I talked to the crowd that I could always gear, because I began hosting. I really worked a lot hosting in the beginning. I wanted that freedom to know that wherever the hell they went or I went, I could always go to them. They could always go to me.
You know, it's interesting. It's the book over there, Mastering Stand-Up.
Yeah.
And I've only read like probably the first 50 pages, so I don't want to sound like I read the whole thing. But in that book, it says, in like the section about crowd work, and this is before I think crowd work had like the crazy Matt Rife boom that it had. But what they're saying is, you need to basically what you just said. Most of the crowd work, what you're seeing is not actually improv. Even though it's presented as improv and it seems that way, it's actually, a lot of it is the same thing. It's a setup and a punch, in that you're kind of setting up an impossible question a lot of the time for the audience. If you're doing it right, you should either have something locked in, like, oh, for this type of person, I got this. Like, I know, or for this type of response, or for this topic, I got this. So, like, whatever direction because you're leading. So whatever you lead them to, you should already have the answer, is kind of what it was saying.
Absolutely.
You should already know how this is going to go. And really, when you're seeing crowd work, if we know that, then you realize like where the actual risks are. Because it's like, if I say, what's your job? Now I'm kind of taking a risk, because you could say anything, and maybe I haven't heard that one before. But if I have, I immediately got something ready. Like that's so much of of crowd work, and the actual improv is not. It's kind of like improv they did before, and then they figured out what works, and now for fat people I say this. That's essentially it.
But I think that some people think that it's not. Some people think that that's sort of like not honest.
Yeah.
That like you really should be leaving it up to chance. But this is not Wayne Brady doing improv asking the audience for suggestions.
Exactly.
I am interacting with you to make you feel at home, not because you're in charge of anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why hosts at comedy shows always talk about dating, sex, and drunk stories. Because what is the audience doing? They're on a date and they're drunk.
Right.
Like, let's use our minds here. Go where they're at. Give them what they want. Meet them where they are.
And you're with the audience. You're not against them.
No, especially as the host.
Yeah.
Because I think you'll look at really great comics, like somebody like Jeff Asmus, who, genius. He can have a little hostility toward an audience and play with that.
Yeah.
He's really good
that's
at
like, to me, that's masterful to pull that off.
Yes.
Because you're breaking the rule on purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that allows a great performer to be able to do that is, if you are going to play with that hostility and maybe turn them against you and get them back, the one thing that you can never, ever lose is your trustworthiness.
Right.
A gigantic part of being a stand-up comic is coming across as trustworthy on stage, and coming across as because you are on stage giving them a show, taking care of them, you can't cross the boundary where they're worried about you. You can't cross that boundary where they don't know if you're in control or not.
See, and like, to me, I think that applies to music too, because this is something that drives me nuts with musicians and comedians too. I'll see it everywhere, and it's just performers. When I feel like when you're being performative, like when you're being inauthentic, I don't think that you're trustworthy anymore. Like, that, to me, that's like, and I think subconsciously other people feel that too, whether they say it or not. But like, to me, it's like, that's, again, my job is proving myself to this room when I'm performing. It's like, I have to prove that I am worthy of this room's time. And so when I see people just performing. I feel like they're role playing. You know, like you'll see people role play on stage a lot of the time.
You're a lot nicer than me because I call that jerking off.
I think it's masturbatory or whatever the fucking word is. I think it is that. I really think so because it's like you're jerking off on a stage, and we all got to watch you jerk off.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Who told you you're cute enough to get away with this?
Yeah,
like, I don't.
Might as well just buy the trench coat now.
Yeah, you know? I mean, yeah. Thanks, Flasher. Like, there are so many people who, whether it's music or comedy, I think any type of performing, where they genuinely believe that they're going to be the exception and they're going to be the one person who doesn't have to listen to anybody or do anything that anybody else has to do.
They're actually
make any
all
compromises.
wrong. Everybody's wrong, and I know.
I am going to be the one person who only does what they want to do and gets as far as they want.
And the difference is, like, there's people who can do that, but the difference is when those people do that and it works, everybody sees it and everybody acknowledges it. But like people feed into this delusion that they're actually different, and then they'll just bomb a million times. And then they'll still think that this is going somewhere.
Yeah. It's sort of like that level of blaming the audience and refusing to engage with reality. It's like the men that blame women that because they're not attracted to them.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the incels that think it's the woman's fault that their dick's limp.
It's what she's wearing.
Like,
It's the same logic.
Like, they'll be up there calling comics will be calling legitimately good audiences bad the way that an incel will call legitimately good looking woman mid because he's mad at her that he doesn't want to fuck her.
And like, you're not going to be able to guide either of those people to the truth. You just kind of got to watch that train wreck because it's already over. All the stones have been laid. It's just waiting to happen. I mean, that's the beauty of like open mics for people who've never been to an open mic. I suggest like seeing something like that at least a couple times to understand anybody can walk in that room and start talking. That's the beauty of the situation.
Yes.
It's a nightmare, but it's also beautiful because anybody can
There's
do
no
it.
barrier to entry whatsoever.
Except writing your name on a piece of paper.
Well, that is a lot of work for some people.
Exactly. So at least there's that fail safe, right? At least we've got that.
I hate that fucking, that when people know they have bad handwriting.
Yeah.
And then they get mad at you for saying their name wrong.
Yeah.
It was one of the most annoying parts of hosting an open mic from back in the day.
Yeah, because you probably, even like when you walk up to them, you're like, did you say this? They try to tell you and you didn't hear them right.
The one thing, I'm glad that like I don't have to host nearly as much anymore as I used to. And if I do host, I really only do it at clubs now.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will never, ever do again, God is my witness, they could put $800 in front of me for the night. I am never hosting the Laugh Factory open mic ever again as long as I live.
Oh, wow.
Because...
Personal vendetta.
No, I like Laugh Factory. It's the goddamn open mic because they only let the comics do 3-minute sets so I don't have time to pee for 4 hours.
Oh, Lord.
It's awful. It's the only bad part about it, but it's so bad that I will never do it
It's funny, like if they gave them 1 extra minute, you would have time to pee.
Literally!
Like that's how tight the window is.
Literally. Like I'm not mad at anybody. Like I just really...
You don't have like somebody you could be like, hey, can you just be the host for 5 minutes?
Yeah, can I get a spotter?
Like I think that's what you need. Just like say, hey, you can be the host for the next 5 minutes. I have to pee so bad.
Like honestly, I think it would be worth it for them to pay 2 people to do it.
Yeah.
For like a first half and a second half.
Because the thing is, I don't think they should bump it up to 4 because it makes the mic feel exclusive. Yeah, and it makes that mic feel different. Like most people aren't. The fact that they're Laugh Factory is the only reason they can get away with that.
Well, and the other reason why, and I think the people who run it would tell you this much, the reason why, well, at least this is what they told me 10 years ago, is that the reason why the mic will always be 3 minutes is because you need to come here because you have a joke. A joke. Short. Finish something. Don't wander. I don't want to hear about your fucking dog taking a walk. A joke. Like by taking the expanse of time away, you have to get to the fucking point. And that's important.
That is important.
Because a lot of comics really struggle with the fact that they need to get to the point as early as possible in the beginning. But if you don't get that beaten into your head, you will really always struggle. If you never get good at doing 5, your 15 will always be shitty.
So you know what's interesting? You just said when you walked in here, you're going to get this book.
Yeah, I think that Freud book's supposed to get delivered today, actually.
Today. Literally today as we speak.
Yeah.
And this book, towards the beginning, it's interesting because he wrote this like the early 1900s. This is before stand-up comedy was even an art form. He's just talking about jokes. He's talking about like when I say a joke to when we're talking.
Yeah.
And so one of the things he says that applies to what you just said is he's talking about how like a lot of the time a joke is like saying something that's unsaid or saying something that you're condensing it down to its smallest possible form. Like that's part of joking is brevity and keeping things short. And that makes it funnier. If you can find a way to do that and say it in the shortest possible way, like you don't want to drone on and on because it's the actual shortness that makes it funny. Like the fact that you can condense an idea to this tiny little thing. And that to me, that idea it's crazy when you think about it like that, because I mean, again, like things left unsaid. Like think about jokes where it's like the joke is what I didn't even say. Like it's what everybody's thinking.
Yes.
And to me, that's what it is. You found a way to say it without even saying it.
If you're lucky, if that kind of joke is personal versus abstract, but sometimes this is true when it's observational. What I call those jokes, and this is not the way we normally use the term, but I call it a joke with identity, because there are some jokes that are a sentence that honestly, they're barely a joke. It's actually a poem. And just from hearing that sentence, you know everything you need to know about them. You can okay, an example of this that's not me, so I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass. You probably only know her as a talk show host, but Joy Behar from The View used to be a very good stand-up comedian.
No way.
Very good stand-up comedian in the 80s and 90s. And one of my favorite jokes of hers was, I've been divorced for 10 years and I'm ready for a man in my life, just not in my house. You can imagine how her house is decorated. You know what kind of car she drives. You can see her jewelry. You can picture everything about a woman who'll tell you, I'm ready for a man in my life, but not in my house. That is like joke from my act. I've dated men, I've dated women. All y'all niggas make me sick. You know everything you need to know about me from hearing that.
Yeah. That's so interesting. To me, that is so interesting because I think like a lot of comedy too, and the same thing with music, it's about like the persona. And I think the way you put it earlier about honesty and about like believing and trusting, like all that stuff is so much more important than people realize. Like I have to believe who you are and you have to believe who you are first. Like that's where that starts is like, so I think when you know you and you believe in what you are, then you can write those jokes because they just come to you. You just know. There's no like questioning, oh, is this me? Is this, you shouldn't even be thinking like that. It should just be you. And I think comedy is really interesting because you'll see people like become their personas. And like, you don't see that with most things. They literally become that. Like people are like, oh, is Theo Von really like that? It's like, it doesn't matter anymore. He just is that guy. Maybe at one point he was leaning into it, but now that's him. And then you see that all over in comedy where it's like, you just become the character because you kind of were the character already, and then to be funnier, you realize, oh, I should be more of that. People respond to that. But before you know it, you are that.
I think it takes quite a bit to like maintain that distinction. Because I mean, Larry the Cable Guy is not like that privately. He went to college. Like he's not like that.
Like Jeff Foxworthy's not as much of a redneck as you think.
But like, I don't know how much you've like dug through my social media or like what you've heard from other comics, but for about 5 years, I did stand-up's character named Miss Brown. And that my long special is The Funeral of Miss Brown, Putting Her to Rest.
Oh boy.
And
you killed her.
It was time to go. I got tired of it. And it wasn't drag. I wore makeup, but like I wore suits that were very flashy. Joke was I dressed like a dyke on her wedding day. But like it was really less of drag and more like my character was a bathhouse hallucination from the 70s. Like it really, I looked like a because also I had a big afro. I looked like a blast from the past. It was like just very next to reality. My character was not a person in like, it was like an idea of a cartoon character about a half a drag queen. It was really meta. It was really next to reality. But because the jokes were so the jokes were so modern in an old-fashioned style with an old-fashioned presentation, it really kept people's attention. My character was too strange to dive all the way in. That's sort of how I protected myself from going down the Eddie Izzard route.
Yeah. Because the character was too strange.
Yeah. No one's like that. You can't. No, that's no one's authentic self.
Yeah.
That's not how anything works.
And how did this character evolve over these 5 years?
Yeah. Because where it started was, okay, I knew when I moved up here that I wanted to do something real fucking weird. I didn't know precisely what that was going to be.
Yeah.
So I spent about a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years really learning how to do stand-up, really learning how to write a joke, really learning how to do all of it with no props.
And that was just you being you.
Black t-shirt, black jeans, just talking about being in college, being from the woods, the guys I was dating, where I was at.
Okay.
Just making my real life funny. And I really learned my fundamentals. That's what I call it, learning my fundamentals. And then once I was past at all the clubs and I trusted myself and I knew that I could afford to take risks, then I started upping the ante. Okay, let's look weird. Okay, once I've gotten people to accept the makeup, okay, now we're going to add suits. Okay, now once I've gotten people to understand I kind of look like Liberace, now we're really going to go hardcore with subject matter.
That's interesting because I think most people fuck up the sequencing of what you did. Like you did it just right. You learned the fundamentals first.
Thank you.
And most people try to do all that wacky stuff before they even know the rules. And like that's why they fuck up. So it's very interesting that you did it that way because that's the right way. But most people don't have the patience and the wherewithal to do that.
Well, I started classical music at 11, and I knew that if you don't have the basics, if you try to get complicated, all you're going to do is hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it won't work
It's
out.
like you're juggling with too many balls, and you haven't even learned how to juggle yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, if you need physical therapy to fix your posture, what the fuck are you doing lifting 80 pounds?
Exactly.
Like, you have to have some structural shit set before we can start going wild.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, why are you training for a marathon when you have flat feet and bunions? This is not, we have to get some structural shit together.
Yeah. And so when you started to blend all that stuff and you started to go crazy, that's where the character comes along then?
Yeah, because I knew that I could get away with a lot more of my riskier material by not looking like a 20-year-old college student.
Interesting. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Adam Ray as Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's so much meaner as Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
He's like a bully. But Adam Ray is not like that.
No.
He doesn't pick on the crowd like that, but Dr. Phil does. And so it's interesting how being a character can allow you to do so much.
Absolutely.
And we just all accept it. We're all just like, oh, well, that's not him.
For sure. It's a lot of fun because, like, this is not the motivation, but it's one of the things I noticed when I looked like this, but like 10 years ago, I could not talk about my sex life the way it happened, like every other comic did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was homophobia.
Yeah.
It's that they couldn't believe that someone that was like coming across very feminine was like fucking grown-ass men.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
and I like fucking them, like,
to
not
the
on
audience
the other
that's
side of it.
incongruent for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. What? It's a top? Like, it was really, really through them. And so, since I could only be in reality on a certain level, that if I was going to really try and get deep, that they weren't going to go with reality, okay, fine. How do I work with that then? Because I can't have an entire topic that is open to everyone else be scary.
Right.
So how do I do this? I'm going to up the non-reality factor so that way they can go with me.
And that worked.
Yeah.
Wow.
It became very Brechtian. It became very like inside and outside at the same time.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so like Bertolt Brecht was like a German or Austrian, I think German playwright, and his work, it's a very specific acting style. That you are not like with most European and American trained actors, they're in the moment, they're in the scene, they're responding to, the situation that's going on.
Yeah.
And with Brecht, it's much more inside and outside at the same time. You are interacting as much with the setting and the time period and the reactions you're going for from the audience as much as you are in the moment. It's in and out at the same time. It's like astral projecting, but for theater.
In this book here, The Power of Myth, I don't know if you ever heard of Joseph Campbell. He's fucking awesome.
So.
And he does all this stuff about mythology. And there was something I read in that book where he was talking about how, like, they were talking about actors and why actors are something that people look up to. And Joseph Campbell made the point that, like, they're doing something godlike in the sense that they're two places at once.
Yes.
When you look at an actor,
yes.
they are there as them, but they are also the character. There are two things at one
yes.
time. And there's something, like, in our minds that's elevated when someone, and it makes me think about, like, when people perform and when people do, I think all performance is kind of that. You're seeing people do something where they're elevated above themselves. And I think, like, playing a character in that is that too. And that's why improv is just such a good muscle in general. Is because you learn to do that naturally and just roll naturally. You can be something else and be it and be in it entirely, but you are still you, but you're immersed in this whole different thing. And, like, to me, that's the beauty of writing, is I can immerse myself into something and just be all the way in that. And I can target that. Like, it's like normally my brain's all these places, but I can just zoom in and do this one thing. And that's a superpower if you can, like, nail it and get it right.
And that improvisation skill is, okay, I have a very contrary opinions that a lot of people don't like on that subject.
Ooh, here we go.
I'm not saying this is my evaluation of myself.
Okay.
Being here for the past 10 years, I have a reputation for being one hell of an improviser. Everybody knows that you can tap me on the shoulder and say, Matt, go up for 20 minutes, and I'll just be able to do it like that.
All right.
The first time I opened for Chris Red, I was literally just in the audience watching some of my other friends, and the producers tapped me on the shoulder. They're like, he's late. We don't know when he's going to get here. You just need to get on stage until I don't know.
You had no material.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. I did half an hour off the seat of my ass. It's fine.
Okay.
Like, I've always been able to do that, and, like, that's always been recognized. And I've never taken an improv class, and I refuse, and I think they're a waste of time. And my two big relationships in my adult life have been with improvisers.
So I think,
I think it's a joke.
I think so I found the book Truth and Comedy, and I read that book, and I read that book. And I went, oh, this is very interesting. Like, it's kind of was describing, because for those that don't know, Del Close is kind of, he's the guy who made improv what it is. And so he kind of founded Second City. He does all this stuff to turn improv into this actual exercise.
This would have been the 1950s for anyone who's
not and so 1950s, he's making improv what it is known as today, where you didn't even have that form before. He kind of defined the form. And so
out of a vaudeville tradition.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so him doing all of that paves the way for everybody else. And I think if you really want to know what improv is, you're better off just going to the source and reading what he wrote and reading what he was talking about. I think that book was actually written by Charna Halpern, and it's like it has a little bit of help from him, but it's mostly her. But even then, they're like, those people are connected to the source. So you're reading somebody who's telling you the actual philosophy from the jump. I think now, though, what you see is a bunch of people who do improv that kind of took all that, and I don't think they're following the rules that were established by Del Close entirely. They actually block themselves a lot, and they think that there's all this off-limit stuff, and they try to... I just think they create an environment that isn't in the same spirit that it was from the... And I think if you go to these classes, you learn improv that way, and I don't think that's the way to do improv. Improv should be... we can do anything.
Yes.
We can do any. We're playing, and we can do anything in the world. And everything I do is correct, and everything you do is correct, because that's the magic, is us just constantly justifying everything and making things work. And if we're crafty enough, and if we're both on the same page, we can make something that's distinctive and take shape and become something. And I think like you lose so much of that if you then start to just block yourself and think all this stuff's off limits, and you worry so much about, oh, we can't do that. And I just feel like improv's not. I think it's something that should be intuitive. You shouldn't even really have to learn all that much.
No, if you are intelligent and well-read, and thoughtful, and you're not someone who takes a lot of time to process things, you don't need a class. You just really need a couple friends you can fuck around with who don't take things seriously.
Yeah.
And something that directors will tell you that no improv actor will ever admit, even though they all know it, a really good dramatic actor can improvise, will improvise, and has never needed to be trained on it. If you actually know how to act and you actually know how to listen, you do not need this bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's also nothing that you can't figure out on your own in terms of, I really started to learn how to write stand-up really by the way Second City teaches you to write sketches, but I didn't know that. I just figured it out on my own, that I improvised with myself and then I kept building from that based off what worked till I could find an endpoint.
Yeah, that's how I think of writing.
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm good at it because I yes and myself. And I've always thought of it like that. Just because you're kind of just freestyling on paper. That's kind of what you're doing when you write. And you're just, once you put it there, you can erase. You have the beauty of going backwards. You don't have that when you improvise, but here you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're a good improviser, you don't backspace that much, and you don't go back that much because you just trust your choices and you just keep going.
Well, you'll notice that there are two main types of improv actors. There are the ones that are like the good actors who are reactive and in the moment and the great listeners. And then there is the improv actor who is really the writer, who is really generating where everything's going.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you'll see someone who's equally both.
Yeah.
Can happen for sure.
But there's like a director and then kind of a follower in a sense. Like there's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
person
yeah.
who knows how to steer the ship and has this grand vision, and there's the other person that's kind of good at zeroing in and being in the moment. And it's hard to do both at the same time. You'd have to that's fucking Jedi logic at that point.
Something that I think is very interesting now is that it used to not exist, the idea of like, because I've wanted to teach it for years, but I wouldn't call it what they call it now. I would love to teach a solo improv class.
Yeah.
But they do that now, and it's called clowning, so it's really stupid, and they've already bastardized it from the jump, so no thank you.
Clowning has been through a number. I feel like they're probably around like, cause someone was telling me all about how clowning, like clowns get upset because there's traditional clowning. Is this my phone?
I don't know if it was mine or yours.
I think it's you.
Oh, what time is it?
It is 11:28. You have a time limit?
I have all the time in the world.
All right, but yeah, so clowning, they were telling me that clowns are not like, it's like they, I want to get this right. There's traditional clowning, there's burlesque clowning, there's all these different clowning genres.
Yeah.
And the OG clowns are kind of upset because it's like, hey guys, we are trying to be for all ages. Clowning is just being entertaining and having fun, and anybody should be able to understand it. A 5-year-old, a 50-year-old. And what you guys are doing is not clowning. And like they're looking at ICP and getting mad.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was this feud. I didn't know. I thought it was just all cool in the clown world.
As much as certain people of our generation would not like to admit it, unfortunately, for all my hardcore leftists, art is inherently elitist.
Oh.
It is inherently elitist and classist. I'm real sorry about it. And then also, if you want to say there's no such thing as conservative art, go to the fucking ballet. I'm sorry. That's just how things work. You don't have to like it for it to be true.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that it's true if you want to accomplish anything.
If you enjoy art, you believe in Ayn Rand.
Well.
Read her writings and then think about yourself as an artist and get back to me.
Yes.
You got a point.
Like certain, okay.
I never had considered that, but you have to believe in like selfishness if you believe in art. You have
to believe in selfishness. You have to genuinely believe in objective metrics, that some things are better than others, that some things are, matching the traditions of a style, of a genre. Like, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want and call it whatever you want and everything's as good as everything.
Yeah.
If you actually have any standards, any taste, any interest, if you've ever turned off a movie or a song because you don't like it, you're an elitist, you're a classist.
Wow.
Until the point that you allow your ears and eyes to be an open orifice, like until you're like a sensory cum dump, you are elitist and classist.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like it brings that out of people for sure. Like, they'll be like all communist all day.
Yes.
Everybody should have everything. And then you start talking to them about Game of Thrones and they're like, but that I would never, that ending sucked. And you're
Music
like, hang on.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is just as valuable as any other show. You gotta lay down the truth for them. You gotta tell them all these shows are equally valuable.
Yeah.
I know you think Tubi is bad.
Yeah, like music's for everyone until Yoko Ono starts singing.
Yeah, and everybody around John Lennon's like bowing their heads. That's when music changes. Yeah, because like that is a great point. Wow. Yeah. Because you can't help it. Like the thing is, and I think the people who really like everything are boring. Like if you really do like everything, that's actually a bad sign. Like you should have taste. There should be stuff that sucks. There should be stuff that you just don't like. Because otherwise it's like, where's your personality at?
What reward are you getting out of having no boundaries?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like, what is your motivation?
Right.
Like what's the get? What's the win?
Yeah, and there's no win.
Yeah.
It's like we said right before we started here, like slop. Everybody likes slop.
Yeah, slop.
That's how you get to the slop.
Yeah, slop is the universal language.
The universal language. Because I think like you could just gobble down that slop all day. If you had no taste, you could just gobble slop.
And here's the thing, we all like garbage, but the problem is when you won't recognize that it's garbage.
Yeah.
Because you can like McDonald's. That doesn't make it good. Your favorite restaurant can be McDonald's. That doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
Your favorite singer could be Britney Spears. That doesn't mean she can sing. That's not, just because you like it doesn't elevate it.
Yeah.
You just like it.
Yeah, and like you should admit if you like trash.
And that's fine. We all do.
Yeah.
The Real Housewives franchise exists. The Kardashians exist. Like, we all like garbage on some level.
Yeah.
You just have to pick your garbage and admit it.
And it's actually good to like garbage.
Yes.
It's good for you. If you only like good things, that's bad. You should listen to something and be like, this is trash, but I like it. Like that's how I feel when I listen to any 2010s pop music.
Oh yeah.
It's like all bad, but it's so good.
Yeah, like Foster the People. Like what were any of us doing?
Tonight we are young.
Oh,
like
I forgot.
That song sucks.
Is that song about a fake ID?
I don't even know what I think it's just a song about tonight we're young. I think that's it. I think it's as simple as that. But I think at the beginning he needs a fake ID. Yeah, I don't know what half of those songs are about. If I'm going to be honest with you,
it's really funny because
they're all about sex. It's funny. You read the lyrics, you're like, wait, I was 10.
Because I started like intensive musical lessons so early, like it was 4 to 6 days a week from the day after my 11th birthday, January 24th, 2009 was my first voice lesson.
Ooh.
Since then, there's like a lot of like pop and R&B music and like rappers that I never knew about until I was an adult and I wasn't training because I didn't have time to listen to music. I wasn't studying.
Oh, wow.
Like it just wasn't really happening.
You missed that era.
And so like until I was for about 5 years I made music documentaries when I was like producing those and researching those that's like the first time that I listened to Mariah Carey album all the way through.
Wow.
Because I just had no occasion for any of it.
Yo. I mean, I think that's cool because sometimes it's like when they bring up a movie and somebody's like, oh, you've never seen that because it's from like the 80s or 90s. It's like, no, I haven't seen every movie. And it makes it so you have all this awesome shit to go back and look at that you've never experienced before when you have all that. Like, you have so much music to discover when you're that guy. There's so much where it's just brand new to your ears. And because you had all that training, you kind of appreciate it in a different way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because like I don't see... Okay, so my second voice teacher, both my voice teachers are dead, but my second voice teacher was like very hardcore on music being inclusive, music being for everybody. Like as a choir director, she was happy to have the special needs kids in her choir because she knew she could eventually get them to match pitch. If she was patient with them and told them, hey, don't go too loud, and kept them in the right section, she knew she could get them. Wow. She knew if they wanted to sing that they could do it with her. She had a couple students who transitioned genders while she was teaching, and she was like, you can go into the tenor section from the alto. I'll let you, but you promise that you won't sing if it's too low. You promise me that you won't try to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, if it's uncomfortable, just don't do it. Okay. She fought really hard to get music appreciation in the program, in the school that she taught, the music program, because she knew that there were kids who couldn't sing, wouldn't sing. There were kids who couldn't play piano, wouldn't play piano, whether they had disabilities or anxiety, but they still deserved to have a music class.
Yeah.
And so because I was just really informed by that's just how you think about this, I don't have any of those blocks in my mind as far as country music isn't real music or electronica is just playing around on a computer. I don't think like that because it genuinely in my mind has to be for everyone, has to be open to some variance. And so while I definitely acknowledge the elitism and the classism that is inherent, it all deserves like a spot at the table.
Yeah. Well, and music is so raw. Music's such a
raw
raw thing. Like, I think musicians who are really doing something different, it comes from somewhere else. Like, we can never predict that. You never know when that's going to come along and somebody's going to do, because it's just like you're capturing something raw. And I think like you have to believe in magic in a sense.
Yeah.
You have to think like that can happen and it can come from anywhere.
And that requires all different kinds of people getting a shot.
Exactly.
And that requires everyone to have the freedom to make and do shit you hate.
Yeah, because you don't know what it is.
No.
You don't know, and sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes something's really popular, and you just don't understand what the appeal. I did not get Gangnam Style, and I will never get it. You can never explain it to me and make it make sense. I don't know what was happening there.
I mean, there's a lot of very successful comedy that I stare at.
Yeah.
I don't understand most of what I see, actually. I'm going to be honest, I don't even understand, don't even know what I'm looking at.
And how I think about it is like, if that's the case, it's like we were talking about earlier, like you just have to believe in yourself delusionally, but you also have to get actual results. Like if you really think that all this stuff is like it doesn't resonate with me, and that this is what's popular, it doesn't resonate with me, you just have to be so good that somehow you're right. That's kind of how it works. Like if you're that guy that goes around and says, oh, all this shit sucks, I don't really get most of this shit, you can say that.
Yeah.
But you have to prove then that you know what it is.
Yeah.
You got to be good. Because otherwise, like, why would I believe you? Why do I trust your taste?
Absolutely. I think that the way that I've kind of been able to circumvent the trends, and even like a slow year for me is 80 to 100 performances.
Yeah, that's like performances.
Yeah.
Shows.
Yeah, like comedy shows.
Yeah.
Like a slow year is that. I think the way that I've been able to navigate the trends is because all my taste in comedy was much older, I think that my style is relatively timeless.
Interesting.
I think I do it's an old-fashioned thing in a very modern way. It's old-fashioned structure with very modern content.
Yeah.
Because all of the comedy I liked, there are exceptions to this, but if you started comedy after 1995, you have to work really hard to convince me.
Yeah, why is that?
The style changed after the second boom, because there was a big comedy boom in the late 60s and then another comedy boom in the early 80s. And after like you kind of really lost all the remnants of the first boom, of the second boom, excuse me, after about mid 90s, I just think generally the style of what was popular shifted.
What? Shifted how?
I think that the voice moved towards lower, I don't want to say lower standards of quality, but different metrics for what was good, because alt comedy in LA became so successful. And I
like a Dice Clay.
Like, no, I'm thinking like later, like alt LA 90s is like Margaret Cho, David Cross, Janine Garofalo, David Spade, like that era, like that early 90s LA, like sort of that were damn near as much punk rock as they were comedy.
Yeah.
I think when they started to get to be successful, that we all started to look at comedy differently. It became less stand-up comedy is a man in a suit telling jokes, or a guy in a sweater telling jokes.
Yeah.
It became much more, this might be stories, this might be observations. This is about acting as much as it's about writing.
Yeah.
I just think our metrics changed in the mid-90s.
But you say you like Chappelle a lot. Don't you think Chappelle is so modern? Like, I find his style to be very, like, extremely modern. Where it's like, it's very opposite of that old style, where it's like now he's just telling stories essentially.
I think he is so steeped in Pryor and Murphy that it's subterranean. Oh. I think that
Wow.
I think that is really like the glue underneath. Like that's the structure his house is built on.
Interesting.
And I think he built a lot on top of it because
and he made it his own.
Yeah, because Dave and Chris Rock have both gotten much more longer form story oriented as they've gotten older.
Yeah.
And I think that is because Chris has admitted to it. I don't know if Dave has, but because they very much are getting influence from outside sources as far as not just comedy, but they're like other public speakers, like preachers and stuff, like kind of adjusting with I have mastered this form, so now how can I play with it?
Yeah.
Because once you, and I've talked to this with other comics around here, once you know how to kill, killing to kill gets boring. If I want to have a good 10-minute set, I know everything it takes to have a good 10-minute set. That's not like an achievement anymore.
Yeah.
So like, okay, what's the next achievement? When you're at that level where you have literally mastered the art form, now it's time to fuck with it.
Yeah.
Because like, it's not an achievement to have a good hour special when you have 6 of them. That's not an achievement. What's the next thing?
And how do you, like, it's like whatever is different is going to look different. People aren't even going to know what they're looking at.
Yes.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to do something different with the form that we haven't even seen before. Like, that's the only answer in my mind, is like, you have to actually change it a little bit somehow. Who knows how?
And I think we're starting to see a lot of those structural shifts happen because we're about 15 years away from our last boom.
Yeah.
So we're losing all the remnants of that. You know, back when Netflix was giving people $12 million, like we're 15 years away from all of that. And so we're seeing the style shift. And I think conservative comedy, well, comedy has become much more political. Conservative comedy is taking main stage. It's much more joke oriented. It's much more broad. And then liberal comedy is moving more story oriented and more one person show oriented. And I don't know if that's going to stay. I don't know if that will like get more and more entrenched. I don't know if there'll be some kind of fusion, but like that's the structural difference as I'm seeing now.
And why is it so political? Why did that sink into comedy so deep? Like, what is the? I guess you could blame Kill Tony and Tony Hinchcliffe and Rogan. I guess you could say those guys aligning. But I think it's been political before that.
Well, it's 20 years before that. I would say.
I mean, I think like if you could look at an SNL though and kind of track it, because SNL's comedy used to be kind of neutral, and now it leans in a direction. It used to be far more neutral in my opinion.
Because Weekend Update used to be about nothing.
Yeah. It used to just be, this is like, we'll make fun of anybody. This is just what's funny.
When it was Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin,
or even Norm when Norm was doing it.
I think that SNL got more political because if Weekend Update hadn't started to actually cover like actual information on some degree, there would have been no Jon Stewart and no Colbert.
Right.
And then with that going on for about 10 years, that the Daily Show and the Colbert Report made comedy seem like a left-wing art form.
That's true.
And then once they went away and Trump came in, it shifted because whether you like him or not, the motherfucker is funny.
Yeah, he's
you
a comedian.
You can be terrified of him.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker's funny. I didn't vote for the bastard. I'm still giggling every now and then.
I mean,
I don't like that about myself.
He's a natural improver. That's what's going on. That motherfucker can improv like crazy.
Yeah, I bet Jefferson Davis was really good at crowd work.
I bet so.
I bet.
It's like, I think that public speaking is kind of crowd work. And so when like politicians, like, it's kind of becoming the new move. Like now Mamdami's doing it, where you just got to be a vibe. Like that's kind of the new thing for politics. You're a vibe. You just you know how to respond. You're down with like whatever's going on. You know the memes. That's what it is.
Well, no one knows how to read, so who cares about policy?
Exactly. Who's even talking about
And then
that?
no one leaves their house, so who cares if you tear up whatever?
Yeah.
Like, no one cares.
Just be a vibe.
Yeah.
And like now Newsom's trying to be a vibe. He started his podcast. He's going to be a vibe. I'm kind of into this new vibe politic thing. But I just am kind of amazed too that people are like falling. This is so obviously the be a vibe textbook like Trump thing. Trump kind of showed you how to be a vibe.
Yes.
And like I'll say too, he's naturally funny. So like if you go back and watch the Hillary Clinton, like I think it was the second debate, this is why they got rid of the audience.
Yes.
Because the audience was laughing too much at what he was saying. They were like, we can't have the audience anymore. Because Hillary is not working the audience like Trump is. I mean, because you'd be in prison is one of my favorite one-liners in all of politics.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just
absolutely.
So it's like we're in a content world, and he's producing content. You know, we need content, and so to me, that's what's so. And I think he actually lost his comedic touch along the way because, like,
dementia.
It's the dementia kicking in.
Oh,
Before he was like roasting people, and he would come up with funny roasts. Now it's just like Rob Reiner died. Fuck that guy. That's literally the roast.
You know, actually, and people forget about it, but before Joe Biden lost his mind, he was actually pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Like, remember when the Obamacare vote went in and he turned Obama in front of God and everybody? This is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
He was actually funny back in the day.
That's true. He had a lot of charisma.
When his wife died in that car accident and he didn't care, hilarious.
Yeah.
That was... He didn't give a shit. All he did was go bald. He was fine.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And so, like, for me, it's like, I think we just need to lean 100% into this. I think, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I think what Trump needs to do to be show he's still with the jokes and on the memes, he needs to start dressing up in costumes when he comes out. I think that would be the move. Everybody's going to be like, oh, he still gets it. He knows he's funny.
Because he likes McDonald's, I want him to dress up as Grimace.
Yo!
He's
like
shaped
one
like
week
it.
he's Ronald, next week he's Grimace.
Yeah.
Who's the other characters?
Hamburglar.
Hamburglar.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he does the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, becomes fried, becomes a meatball.
And it's unfortunate. Like, I don't like that I laugh at it, but like, I'm not going to pretend that I don't.
Yeah.
The White House social media now is so fucking crazy.
Oh, dude.
It is insane. Never seen anything like it, and we never will again.
Hopefully we never will again. See, like, that's what I worry about is it's hilarious, but like, I hope this isn't setting the precedent for the future. Like, the next person's going to come in and just do the same, but the opposite. It'll just be like, you know, because he's just straight up. I mean, you heard about like the plaques he put up in the White House and all this. It's like
plaques.
It's like Joe Biden. It says on the plaque, Joe Biden stole the election in 2020, and it says it on a plaque in the White House. And like, to me, that's hilarious. But it also means like anybody can just come in and write anything. Like, the White House social media can be anything. There's no decorum. It's just, we're just gonna do anything.
Don't care.
I kind of like it, but it's also kind of like, let's see where this goes, because I don't know where that goes. Right now, it's in a funny spot. Maybe if like Kim Jong-un takes over America, that won't be good.
I definitely think that we are going to be stuck in vibe politics for a while.
I hope so.
I think that we're going to be stuck in celebrity politics for a while.
The Rock, come on, Dwayne.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fran Drescher ran for president.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Ronald Reagan was president of SAG, then governor of California, then president. Like, running the Screen Actors Guild is like a political job.
The pipeline.
It can be. Yeah.
I do think like that's gonna be, and the celebrities we have now, like, it's kind of unpredictable. Like, I actually do think Mr. Beast, give it 15, 20 years, Mr. Beast president.
I think Sydney Sweeney is going to be Secretary of State.
Yeah, I could see it. Like, or her being the, what do you call the person who leads like those meetings, the House, like kind of like the secretary. Is that it's not the Secretary of State, the one that gives the answers
Speaker
for
of the
president.
House.
Speaker of the House. I could see like any actor should take that over, but Sydney Sweeney would be perfect for it. She'd be so perfect. She even looks kind of like that girl who was with Trump that went over to Fox News.
Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just think it would be fun because we can't. They don't take it seriously anymore, so why should we?
Exactly. Let's lean into the entertainment. Like, I'm saying, they need to be meta. This has been my theory. They need to lean. Everybody likes meta now. Like, when you're in on it, when you get it. They need to lean into it. Oh, you guys don't even take us serious. Neither do we.
And here's how this benefits the left. It's not sad to kill somebody if they're wearing a Halloween costume. if he's dressed up as Ronald McDonald and you murk his ass, it will not be sad. It will be hilarious. Everyone will move on.
You're kind of setting up the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
You're right. It would make okay. So if we're in a world where political assassinations are happening,
and we
should
are.
also, and we are. Let's accept that we are. It's happened a couple times. We're there now. So if it's gonna keep happening, let's start wearing costumes and lighten the mood.
Yeah, literally, literally. Like, okay, here's the thing: Charlie Kirk in a sombrero, because when you get shot in the neck, the hat falls off. That's a bit.
And it's
That's
like
a bit.
And it's not only that, like maybe as a poncho, the blood hits the poncho. It's like that image is so different. You know what? I can buy that. I don't think that's a worse world. Because the thing is, we gotta accept that this is already happening.
Yeah.
And we gotta make things better. And that's what America's all about. It's about accepting your circumstances and then building from there.
The kind of comedian that I am and the kind of comedian that I like demands to go as far as possible, as fast as possible. And I remember Joan Rivers saying, if I was in the gas chambers, I would have turned to the woman next to me and said, do you smell anything? Like, you just, when it's as bad as it's gonna get, not laughing will not help anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, and I think like that's what I was kind of getting at with the improv thing, is I think people think of ideas as off limits, and that's where you fuck yourself up. And that's not an improv mentality.
No.
Everything should be funny in a sense, or at least usable. You should never reject an idea. And like, to me, that's just an overall problem with comedy if you extend it across comedy. It's like when you walk in a comedy club and you see something on the wall that says, we don't say this, 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 or this. It's like, what are you... Because what I'm worried about is not even that I'm any of those things that you put on the wall.
Yeah.
But that you're going to misinterpret something I'm saying as that, because your way of thinking about those topics is different than my way of thinking about those topics, and then you're going to define me as like whatever, a racist, a sexist, a bigot, because I made a joke that leaned towards that. To me, that's the problem. It's like I don't know where your lines are. I don't actually know, and there shouldn't be lines.
Oh, absolutely.
The lines shouldn't even exist.
I mean, when people get uptight with me, because I'm really such a fucking asshole, when people get uptight with me, I will stare them dead in the eye and say, I do not speak for your comfort or approval.
How does that work out for you? Does it work?
They are so scared.
Yeah.
Like, I intimidate people into thinking it won't be a good idea to fuck with me, and then everyone goes scatters.
You kind of force their hand.
Well, because I've been around a long time, and there are people who knows what happens when it's time for me to be an asshole, and most people don't want it directed at them.
You're like the Hulk.
Verbally. So they don't want to go there. So if you think Matt said something wild, you're just gonna have to carry that in your heart. Like, it's none of my business. It's absolutely none of my business. Like, I think that if there's an idea that you are intimidated by or afraid of, once you should be working towards manipulating the idea as your writing skill gets better. For example, I do not tell rape jokes. I do tell a joke about a rape whistle. Rape isn't funny. A whistle can be.
How'd you figure that out?
Took me 9 years to get there. Okay, so what happened was I was trying to write a joke about Luigi. And because I think like...
Mangione, not the Mario character.
Yeah, but Luigi Mangione, which Mangione means big eater in Italian.
Ooh.
That's why he was at McDonald's. But I was trying to write a joke about Luigi because I think killers who have fans are hilarious. Like, I think that amuses me. Like, I don't know. I slept with someone who went on a date with Richard Ramirez's son. I was sad.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the whole story. So, like, I was trying
Serial killers have fans, by the way.
Yes.
For those that don't know, like, people who are just nuisances. They've killed 20, 30 people. They have people who write them letters that love them.
I'm an Eileen Wuornos fan. If she was alive, I would send her Christmas presents.
There you go.
But I was trying to write a joke about Luigi, and I wanted to play with the sexual tension of it, but I didn't want it to like make it a joke about how the girls are jumping up and down like Elvis. Like, I didn't want it to be one-noted. And so I was like, okay, how can I make it not just about the fact that everyone's horny for him? How can I make the joke about the fact that us being horny for him is inappropriate without saying that directly? And so what I got to was, okay, what is the worst, like most inappropriate for, okay, this is going to have to go towards rape or assault or violence. Okay. I'm going to have to, like, if I'm trying to make that point indirect without just saying, we shouldn't be horny for him, where do I go? And so then it became, the day Luigi gets out of prison, I'm going to buy a rape whistle that plays Sabrina Carpenter. Please, please, please. It is so fucked up, but it goes around and it's an inch away from the absolute end of the earth.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the cliff.
And I think what makes jokes like those work is that's like you have to put thought into it, because what you'll usually see, it's like most people just don't try that hard.
No.
So most of the time what you're going to see is people who are trying to just make the edgy joke, and they didn't really put that much thought into it. They just wanted to say the thing. Whatever the thing is that's in the atmosphere, they wanted to catch it, but they didn't really think about how to wrangle it and make it work. And like you said, it took you 9 years.
Yeah.
Because it should take you forever. You should be constantly thinking, like, that's why I say when I go on stage, I have to justify me being on stage. And I think that's the beautiful thing about comedy and music, is you can take ideas that you couldn't express normally, and you can find a way to make it work for an audience. You can find a way for them to accept it as an audience. Like, oh, he can do that because we trust him.
If you are actually funny, and if you're actually smart, you will normally be writing a little bit ahead of your ability. You'll be writing a little bit ahead of what you can get away with, what you can perform, what you know how to do. You'll have ideas that you are not prepared for yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's the sign of, like, there's always something to chase. It's building, like, this is worth something.
Interesting. But ahead of yourself.
What I would say is that, and I've even heard, you probably don't know who she is. Her name's Bonnie McFarlane. McFarlane. I don't think there's a D at the end. She's a great stand-up. She's married to a great stand-up. And she was in a documentary once. She said, there's a joke I've been trying to write for about 10 years. And I'll try, like, about, every 4 months, I'll sit down in front of the legal pad and I'll, like, try. And I can't figure it out. But it's a good idea. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
There's shit like that. Like, it took me years to really be able to talk about my family on stage.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to go in, treading lightly, like those sense of instincts and restraint. Like, I remember I started stand up in August, and I remember I was at a mic on 9/11 a month later, and I got off stage, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot to make a 9/11 joke. And then the next year I was at a mic on 9/11 and I didn't want to. And that's growth. That's having that's okay.
You knew better by the next year.
Out.
Yeah. And it's hard to look back when you've seen that. Like, that's how you know you've grown, is looking back and seeing the worse you. That's the hard part, is understanding that you were worse.
My clips from 2017 would get me jailed.
Yeah.
I was egregious.
Yeah.
I remember some of the shit that came out of my mouth in my very first set. Oh, never to be repeated.
That bad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think comedy is very naked. It's like a much different thing, because music, you at least have the filter of, like, you're just, it's not as vulnerable. I can present it however I want, whereas comedy, and it all just ends up coming out in the wash in this way.
For sure. And the thing that is that people forget about now with stand-up is that political correctness in comedy meant absolutely nothing until Trump.
Yeah.
Like, it was sort of like half a conversation, but ultimately everybody was much more comfortable making jokes about groups or using certain words. And, like, everyone kind of got it up until it became deeply serious on a bigger level. But, like, I'm telling you, in 2015, 2016, beginning of 2017, I feel like it was the last days of the Wild West, where people were truly saying whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Taking the risk because they knew they could.
And I think now you even see a different, like, rebound effect, where it's gone full circle, and a lot of the people who are taking those risks are only doing it because they live in this world that's telling them they can't. Like, that's how they interpret it, and they think they're being rebellious, and, I'll say anything.
Yeah, they're 38 and still mad at their parents.
Yeah, and
they
their
were
parents
not properly toilet trained, and now it's all of our problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is, you've always had those people, but now they have a voice and a reason. And I think, like, people watch that thinking that you're seeing something controversial, but it's not actually controversial.
No.
It's purely shock value. And that's what sucks about it. And like there's whole scenes building around this. Like it's not just like one guy. It's like an entire aura of an area has become this. So it's very odd to watch that happen because it's all a rebound effect in my mind. It's all because you had this world that did kind of lean into don't say this, don't do this. And now I don't think we're in that world anymore.
No.
So we really aren't, but you have people who, like a loud group of people who want that world, and then another loud group of people who completely reject it, and neither of them are in reality because the general audience just doesn't care.
Yeah.
We're kind of all over it,
Yeah.
and we just want everybody to just be cool again. We don't care if you say that or not. We don't even care.
Everyone kind of forgot that everyone really did actually know how to behave 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and it's not like we ever. I think we just went through a traumatic experience.
Several.
And we are now carrying PTSD.
Yeah.
And we have to, take mushrooms, ayahuasca, whatever it is, have a good therapy session, and just wash that away, start new. I think that's where we're at, because you can't. I don't blame people for ever feeling however they feel. Like, yeah, that was a crazy last 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't normal.
I think that, okay, I don't think that having a strong reaction is a choice.
Yeah.
I think that choosing a fence and staying there is a choice.
Yeah.
Because if you hear something crazy, you have every right to, what the fuck was that? To maybe remove yourself from the situation. Maybe even talk to the person later if it's someone you know and you're like, hey, do you realize how that sounded up there?
Yeah.
Like you have every right to do that. But to stay in the place of offense,
Yeah.
I think is not beneficial to anyone. I think that unless you take it to like a political activist level, you're really just sitting in your own shit.
Yeah, and what does that do for anybody? Like,
Yeah.
not even just you, but like, what are you doing for anyone else?
Yeah.
If that's where you're at, you're just not making real change. There's no real change that happens there. And I think like, I never want to be that guy. Like, I don't know. I'm just not, I never think like that. I would never want to be the same thing for a long period of time. Like, I feel like life is all about changing and becoming something different. That's what's awesome about life. I think it's like why vacations are good. Because you go to somewhere else and it's like, oh, there's more to life than that place I've been sitting in for 8 months. There's so much more.
Well, I'm lame. I almost always go to the same place on vacation. I like Mexico and I like go every year and it just makes me happy.
Mexico's your heaven.
Yeah, I like Cancun and Playa del Carmen and
I've never been to Mexico.
Oh, you gotta go.
I gotta go.
You gotta go.
It's that good, huh?
Oh, yeah, because I mean, okay. You can go for 4 days at an all-inclusive for like $1,000.
Whoa.
It's really
okay.
really
and like,
fun.
how about food? How about when you're going around, you're spending money?
If you're at an all-inclusive, pretty much everything at the resort is covered.
So you don't even really worry about that, huh?
You don't have to worry about that unless you like want to go out into the city and shop or if you want merch or stuff. But like the only things you would pay for is like, tip on booze, if you want room service, cigarettes, T-shirt for your sister, stuff like that.
And where in Mexico are you going?
The last resort I went to was called the Blue Bay Esmeralda.
Okay.
You look that up.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll look it up right now. I want to see a picture.
Yeah.
Was it nice?
It was decent. The food, the one thing when you go on the cheaper end, when you're on like the $900 to $1,200 end, the food is not amazing. Food's fine. It's fine, but it's not amazing.
They got better options if you pay more.
Yeah.
Damn. This looks nice. I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera.
Yes.
Woo.
And it's not crazy expensive. A hotel in Indiana costs more.
Really?
Yeah.
So like
the plane ticket's the expensive part.
Is it a currency thing? Is it because our currency has more value, and so the way that it converts, you just 1,000 to that to us is 5,000 to them?
Yeah, I think it's the currency difference, and then also like I'm not an economist, so I can't really speak to like the details of tourism and agriculture there.
Yeah.
But I think that you need less money in an area that is more agricultural.
Maybe.
That's what I know from growing up in Kentucky, because like, I don't know, because I have friends that like grew up in Mexico and moved here, and there's just like fruit trees like around.
And maybe it's just more self-sufficient.
Like there's just like things are in your backyard.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to like, a lot of people know how to kill animals that are around so you can eat. Like you still go to the grocery store. Like you still like, but you can be more self-sufficient with other things.
Yeah.
You know, there's not as much need for certain types of technology. Also, there's not as much like I'm moving out and away from everyone. So
let me ask you
just
this
don't need
then.
as much money.
If you're going there.
And I want to be clear, that's not I'm saying that that's specifically a Mexican thing. I think that's agricultural, because I think that's also true where I grew up in Kentucky.
Just any agricultural place.
Yeah.
So when you're there, though, do you think you get a good experience of like what the people are like if you spend a lot of time at the resort?
No.
See, that's what I would worry about. I feel like I wouldn't get so immersed in the culture. And that's kind of part of the fun when you vacation. Like
I'm
really,
there
you're
to
just
get a
getting all the
tan.
joy of the tan, the sun. Oh my God, the weather's so nice. But it'd be like if you went to California and then you were just in this tiny little gated community in California. You never met a Californian, you know? But I don't know.
That's why you go out into the city and shop and can
Spend
do
a
stuff
day
like that.
doing that, spend a couple days.
But what I found to be very interesting, though, when I go to some of the cheaper resorts, because I mean, I will shell out for stuff sometimes, but I would rather spend the money on a first class plane ticket and then do the cheap resorts. But what I've noticed is that when I go to like, you know, when I go on a $1,200 vacation in Latin America, because I don't like to travel places I don't speak the language. I like to travel by myself. I go where I can talk. A lot of times the people that I will meet at the resort are people from other parts of Latin America.
Right.
Like people from Spain choose to go to Mexico because it's cheap. People that have money in Colombia choose to go to Mexico because it's cheap. Like,
so it's not just a bunch of Americans.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw like white, black, Latino, Asian Americans. Like I definitely saw like that.
Yeah.
But it was at least half people that lived in Central and Latin America.
Yeah, because that's like at least like the cultural diversity. Like you want some of that on a trip like that. It's cool. You feel like you're seeing different parts of the world.
Oh yeah.
I would never want to just be surrounded by my peers in a foreign place. I feel like that'd be kind of boring.
And something that a lot of people don't really think about, because like I have half of a Spanish lit degree. I changed majors in the middle, but a lot of people don't understand that even if you are only with people from South America, if you're at a party with 40 people and everyone's South American, limitless diversity. You're going to hear 7 different accents. You're going to see people that do not look remotely alike each other, and they'll tell you that they're cousins. Like it's they got everybody and everything.
Yeah.
It's incredibly diverse.
Just because of how big it is?
Because of how big it is, and because they have had a lot of European immigration. A lot of black people were brought there in slave trade. A lot of indigenous people have been there since land before time.
Yeah.
So they really do have everything and everybody. And then Spanish, for whatever reason, I think a lot of Romance languages are like this. Spanish is very regional. And even to the degree of vocabulary changes a lot regionally.
Yeah.
And accents are very... If you know how to speak Spanish well, you get to be very good at telling where people are from in like 10, 15 seconds.
I didn't know this until I had a coworker, and the other coworkers told me that he speaks feo español, which means ugly Spanish. He speaks ugly Spanish because to them, they couldn't understand what he was saying, and he speaks Spanish. And I didn't know that's how I learned that.
Well, yeah, they have the same diversity of accents as we have from like Cajun Creole to Wasp.
Exactly.
Like that same, even though it's the same country, you might live, 50 miles away, staring at each other. Endless amount of diversity. Like, cause I had professors from when I was in Spanish lit, I had professors from all the fuck over.
Yeah.
So you had to get good at the accents. You had to.
Just to understand.
Just to be hanging out.
If you'd like to comprehend the scenario.
Yeah, because I had professors from Spain, Mexico, Chile, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Colombia, which, again, completely different. I think the best Spanish that you'll ever hear is in Colombia. The average Colombian person speaks grammatically correct Spanish like a high school dropout in Colombia speaks better Spanish than I do English.
Wow.
Like, I don't know why. Everyone speaks very, very well. Great grammar, very refined.
Wonder why. Yeah, there's got to be some reason.
Even dumb people sound smart in Colombia. It's a great place.
Cultural. Maybe they're just like, maybe they're like China. They're just really into education.
Well, I think a lot of times some families are just like, you can be whatever you want if it's not stupid. Or if you are dumb, you can't sound like it or act like it.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you go to London and it's kind of like from the north to south in America, like the south, or not, Europe, I should say. You go to Southern Europe and all the accents are like almost like hillbilly like.
Way
you go
stronger.
to the north side and it's like completely like proper. It's a proper accent. And it's like, why would that even happen? And that's a good question. Why would it even happen? I bet linguists have been wondering about that for a long time, because I don't think you can ever say the right answer. I don't think there's you can know.
Well, because
it's like, why do you go to New York and they talk like that? Who really knows?
Well, because I mean, no one was there when it started.
Yeah.
What I will say, what I think linguists have figured out for sure is that accents are a byproduct of isolation. Because now that everybody's on social media all day, regional accents are much rarer.
You know what's interesting too is we know for sure that babies can pronounce any sound.
Yes.
So like a Chinese baby has no trouble pronouncing any sounds.
No.
But then you learn Chinese and all of a sudden you can't say certain sounds. So where does that happen?
Well, and then you look at places like Europe where some people have to speak 4 languages to function.
Yeah.
For work, for, just to get around.
Yeah.
I mean, the average European can speak 2 well and probably read 3 or 4 if they have to.
Yeah, right. And like that's just normal.
Yeah.
That's expected in a sense. Yeah.
Well, cuz my first foreign language, cuz classical music, I used to speak 5 and I sang in 9.
Damn.
My first foreign language was Italian, and because they're so similar, Italian and French grammar are exactly the same. So if you can read one, you can read the other. That doesn't mean that if you speak one, you can speak the other, because I could never really speak French. I really couldn't, but I could read it okay.
Interesting.
They're like, the grammar is almost exactly the same. And so then Spanish came in later. But I used to speak English, Spanish, Italian, and German, and I could read French.
And now you can't?
You don't use it as much, and it dries up. I can obviously still speak English, and my Spanish is still good. My German is really bad, because I haven't used it since I broke up with my high school boyfriend. And then my Italian, I can still read very well, but not so great with the responses anymore.
Yeah, because it's a muscle you have to train.
Yeah, but what I will say, because I came up in music and that's how I learned all of them, they all sound fluent or very close when they come out of my mouth. Because it's just as much about how it sounds as much as it is correct.
Yeah, like the enunciation.
Yeah, I remember there's a comedian who will go nameless who was married to a woman from Europe. They're not married anymore, but he was married to a woman from Europe for a little bit. Okay. And when I met her, I spoke to her in German, because she probably hadn't heard it in forever, and so I just asked her, wo wohnst du in Deutschland? Where'd you live in Germany? And her eyes lit up and her jaw dropped. She's like, that sounded beautiful. I haven't heard German in so long. Wow. Like, just the sentence, just like the innocent question, it made her feel like she was at home, because it didn't sound schlocky and American. Yeah. It wasn't, ich hasse Billy Bob. Like, it wasn't. And, even that's a language I didn't speak well anymore. I still had the sound. It's
funny how that is, because I think, like, if you are somebody who, like, I think I do that instinctually, and I think that's what you should do. Like,
well, as a white rapper, you have to.
You have to. Yeah, you have to rap cool. You have to know how to rap cool, and that involves doing voices, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
They've established that a long time ago. But I mean, like, for real though, if you're, say, talking to a Spanish person, say, hola, ¿cómo estás? You should say it like that. You don't say, hola, ¿cómo estás?
What's hilarious, though, is that Americans who have studied Spanish but can't really speak it, if you talk to them like Peggy Hill, they know exactly what you're talking about. The accent gets in the way. If you're like, yo hablo español, pero soy americano, soy negro americano,
they're better than
me llamo Mateo. Like,
if you speak wrong Spanish.
Yeah. if you just talk to them like, La ventana está abierto. Like, if you talk like that.
Because that's how they read it on the app when they were learning.
Yeah. Soy muy triste casado. Like,
yeah, but triste even a bit much. Do they know the I's are E's? They probably don't know that. They probably
Triste.
It'd be triste. Yeah. I mean, that's learning a language is hard because you have to learn the rules. That's part of what makes it so hard is you have to learn how to actually follow their pronunciation rules. And I think like that's why people who do voices so well or impressions so well, like to me it's very impressive because you have to reprogram your brain in that way. Like those sounds are not the same. It's like when you see an actor really nail a performance and then you find out they're English.
Yes.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Because then you realize all that stuff they were doing, they were also, and I've heard actors talk about this, that's why they don't break the accent when they're like in the production of a movie. They try to maintain the accent.
It's so hard to
because then you can't act in the accent. Yeah, like you're forcing it when you're forcing it. So you have to find a way to do it all the time.
Everyone forgets that Andrew Garfield's British.
I mean, Robert Pattinson, he's another one. He just strikes me as an American. Christian Bale, you're like, what? He's English? Because you've never seen Christian. He's never doing an English accent in a movie.
Now, I will say the only time an American person will see somebody and think that they're British, it's because they're ugly.
Yeah, it's their teeth.
Yeah, that would be the
teeth.
only reason. Or like they're all red for no reason.
Yeah. You didn't see Marty Supreme, I asked
No.
you. Towards the beginning of that movie, there's a guy who's so British. It actually made me laugh because I felt like they were leaning into it, like the way they did the movie. Like, oh my God, you picked the most British guy you possibly could for this role because he's got the British look about him. Ugly.
Now, I actually really like British comedy. I think they're better.
They have more wit.
They're better at sketch than we are.
Ooh.
I think we're better at sitcoms and they're better at sketch.
Really?
I like a lot of their writers. I think their feminists are badass. I just like a lot of British stuff. I always have. And when I got my DNA ran, I found out that I have as much British DNA. Like I could be a black Brit. I am literally 50% English.
Wow.
Like there's some sort of like I knew they were talking to me.
Yeah, it was like you were just seeing the homeland.
Yeah.
That's all it was. There was something in your heart.
I've always liked them. And my grandma showed me a lot of the books and a lot of the media. I don't know why. And everyone's always like, they're imperialist. How could you watch their stuff?
Yeah.
People who politically purity test everything.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get you a nice psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Like,
but I bet if we got you in a lie detector test, you would be into kings and queens if we talked about it long enough. I know it's in your blood. You'd be like, well, it's not that bad, though.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm never going to be in charge anyway. So once you divorce yourself of like you thinking you're going to be president, does it matter who's running everything?
It could just be a king. Just be a king. What's the difference? If we're being honest, what's the difference?
We have had enough political dynasties in this country without a king that what's the difference?
That's what I'm saying.
Kennedys, Clintons, about to be Trumps. Like we've had Adams back in the day. Like we've had our political dynasties.
Yeah, we actually have. And you could just call them dynasties. Yes. And like to me, it's like an appointed monarch. Like I don't think what we have is so far from just appointing a couple people. I think it's pretty much the same.
Well, we haven't had an honest election since Bush v. Gore.
Exactly.
So what am I?
Why are we pretending that we're not Britain? Like we're the same place.
We just make this shit up because, okay, I don't want to sound right wing here because I've never voted for a Republican.
Yeah.
I voted for Biden and I don't think he got 81 million votes. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I voted for him and I think they pulled that right out of their ass. And then also, when you looked at the voter turnout numbers for Kamala, it's like they clearly, like, this is all a fucking game.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court decides like a couple months before.
What I always say to like, if you're somebody who leans left and you don't believe in that, like just look at what they did to Bernie. They clearly screwed Bernie in front of everybody. And so like if that doesn't tell you they're willing to do that with anybody, like they did it to Bernie. Bernie was a solid candidate. He actually had a chance and he was doing so well. It was to the point where
literally in the history books, this happened. Obama made a phone call and called a bunch of people and said, hey, you guys got to drop out, because if you drop out, we have a better chance running Biden, because it's me and Biden.
Yeah.
And Biden's the guy. Biden's the guy we want. And that's just how it works. The reason when Trump came along and it was such a like shock was because we were so used to this system.
Yes.
Of this like, oh, it's going to be Jeb Bush because he's the guy. And he's like the next guy. That's what the conversation was. And then Trump comes along and just calls Jeb Bush boring.
I've hated Jeb Bush my entire fucking life.
He's just he's a piece of toast.
I've hated
he's like
Jeb
he's
Bush.
the equivalent of a piece of bread. It's just nothing. There's nothing there. There's no sustenance. There's nothing.
Because he was governor. Because I told you earlier, I am an Eileen Wuornos fan. And when she was on death row in Florida, Jeb Bush won re-election on killing her.
That piece of shit.
Yeah. Should have kept my girl.
Because I mean, that girl had a lot of personality.
So much, and she had more teeth than personality. It was really. I fucking love her ass though.
And all she's got is Charlize Theron in a movie now. That's all she's got.
I think that Charlize Theron for that movie doesn't make any sense. Christina Ricci playing her girlfriend makes no sense, because her girlfriend was like butcher than Rosie O'Donnell. Like we're like so butch that she probably wouldn't even be allowed in public. Like incredibly butch.
The butchest.
Because people are more unsettled by a very butch lesbian than by a trans man. Because the butch lesbian's like, fuck you and your little rules. I'm gonna do what I fucking want.
We need to like test a bunch of straight white males on that and just see. But just hook some stuff up to their brain and see what scares them more.
But straight guys are very attracted to butch lesbians, but that's a different issue.
Oh yeah, you're right. Who's the test audience for that? Who do we just everybody?
Yeah,
test
everybody. But I think that who they really should have had play Eileen, to me, a female serial killer, a prostitute who takes control of her life, like one gunshot at a time. That should be a woman comic getting to do her first dramatic performance. That is like, couldn't you see Nikki Glaser like getting an Oscar for something like that?
I was thinking like, what if they just knew the future and they knew Britney Spears would be perfect for that role? She was who popped in my mind. Like Britney would have been amazing.
Like somebody who can really be funny and really go there.
Yeah, but you're right. A female comic who like has no bounds.
You're like Kathy Griffin 20 years ago.
Kathy Griffin would have been. That would have been nuts.
I think that they should have done, you know how they did the Nicole Kidman movie where she played Lucille Ball?
Yeah.
That should have been Deborah Messing or Kathy Griffin 20 years ago.
Because why? Do you just think comics have this like wildness?
Well, I think that when you are trying to go towards... Okay, with the Nicole Kidman thing, she was brilliant at everything but the comedy. And if you're going to play Lucille Ball... I would rather you be brilliant at the comedy and the dramatic parts be a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I think that when you are really looking for an unhinged woman, you really, if you are trying to get that fully portrayed, balls to the wall, I think you need a woman who like knows how to tell jokes and play with the boys and isn't afraid of them.
You're right.
Because I think if you have held on to any notion of trad wife femininity, you can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
If you have it in you to go tell grown men that you don't know to go fuck themselves and here's why.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can really roar like the lion I need you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a woman who is not afraid to pick fights.
For that role.
Yeah.
Because she...
like in your personal life, to be able to get there as an actor, you have to be, as a human being, unafraid.
A fighter, not a lover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just what is necessary. It's the grit we need for this role.
Well, because when I think about my own life, the only women that I know that are probably capable of killing 7 men in a year are women that have justified beef with bookers.
You've seen it firsthand.
I've been doing this for 10 years, so you know what? Go blow his brains out. You know what? Fine. I'll drive you to Milwaukee. Let's go. Fuck it.
Yeah. And I think comics like also are just unhinged enough where you're always wondering if they're gonna do it. Like they are just unhinged enough where you're like, maybe they would.
Well, I mean, there's a fist fight at a mic at least once a year. There's always something. There's always a story. I mean, we're kind of like that.
I like it. I like
Oh,
it because I
yeah.
think musicians are more worried about what people think than comics are. It's actually a beautiful, liberating thing. Like musicians are all kind of like, they have an image and they're trying to maintain this thing. Comedians don't give a fuck.
No.
They don't care.
No.
They want to fight.
Yes.
They want to fight with you. They want and I think part of my theory is like comedians just have opinions on everything. Like
Yes.
that's kind of their job is just to
Yes.
have an opinion all the time. Because I don't know where that comes from, but they always feel some type of way. Then they'll tell you. And to me, that's way more interesting than like the people who are trying to like, be cool and maintain something. I'd rather talk to the guy who just wants to fight everybody.
Okay, so my theory on this, it's because musicians make more money.
Yeah.
Because with stand-up comedy, what are they going to take away from you? $40 and a drink ticket? I have a fucking job. I'll beat everyone's ass. I don't care.
You're right. A gig is going to pay so much differently as a musician. Like a comedian's like, come on, I got 3 of these tonight. I'm making 20 each. Like, I'm worried about my $400 thing happening like next month.
Yeah.
Where you're right. That's completely different.
I make decent money doing this, but not at clubs.
Yeah.
No one makes great money at clubs.
Nobody.
That's not what they're for.
You want them corporate gigs.
Yeah,
baby.
corporate gigs, private gigs.
Let's go on a cruise ship.
I will show up to a gay birthday party so fast.
Oh yeah.
I have done 45
You're probably
minutes.
a king of gay birthday parties.
I've done 45 minutes at a gay birthday party in a garage more times than I can count, and I had my pants on.
Yeah. Hand to God, right hand to God. It's true. Yeah, I feel like that is your like natural territory somehow. You probably just kill in that
Oh
scenario.
yeah, it's fun.
They're
It's
like,
fun.
who brought this guy?
And I like doing corporate gigs because I don't need to curse. Like I can, it's fun. It's nice to not have to think about it. But comedians who say they're afraid of clean, I always say, when you go back home for the holidays, if you're funny to the kids in your family, you can do clean.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Like if you're funny sitting in the back of your sister's van with the 4-year-old and the 8-year-old, like if you can hang, you can be funny clean. But I like doing corporate gigs because I like talking to middle-aged people. Like we have the same references. I like the first time.
Must be an old soul.
Yeah. Well, I was raised by older people. I was mainly raised by my grandma and my first voice teacher.
There it is.
They were born 1927, 1939.
We just got to the bottom of it right there.
Like I just that's how I run.
Yeah.
That's how I hang.
Yeah. And you find that the audience responds better?
I find that it's not just that they respond better, because I can talk to people my age, but I simply have more in common with them.
Yeah.
When I talk about how when I was in 3rd grade, the first time I realized that I liked titties was when I saw Halloween and I saw Jamie Lee Curtis. A 55-year-old man is bonding with me right that. I have to explain what Halloween and John Carpenter in 1978
It'd be
is.
like Jamie Lee Curtis was so hot in the 90s. You guys don't get it. You look at her now. Look at her in the 90s. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like for me to talk, because I don't know why my media influences were just older, because that's what was around.
Yeah.
So like when I do that bit, it works when I'm talking to 29-year-olds because they saw Freaky Friday, probably saw True Lies. Like they also understand that bi guys have weird taste in women. So that's really more what the joke is when I'm talking to younger people.
Right.
That bi guys have weird taste in women. But when I'm doing a corporate gig, no, they have the same weird taste because she was traditional hot then.
Yeah.
So like it's when I'm talking to middle-aged people, like it's just running different because like I was one of those adults that was one of those kids that was always around the adults.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, there's a bunch of 50-year-old black people. Oh, I can do my Diana Ross bit.
Right.
Oh, cool, because I never get to do that. I'll do my bit about Diana Ross selling perfume on HSN. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah. And it's like meeting, like you said earlier, about meeting the audience where they're at, like actually knowing what these people are going to get.
I hate comics that go up on stage and they say, like, this is my 10 minutes. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. My 15 is these 4 bits.
Yeah.
Like, I do it in this order, this way, exactly like this. And I'm going to be so funny that I bring them to doing exactly what I want. No.
Yeah.
No, you have to. This is interactive. This is live. This is not an Edward Albee play. You are there to have an experience with them, and
It's one of the only art forms where that's even possible.
and I think the idea of, to me, okay, stand up is like sex in the sense that if you are not attentive to your partner, you are missing the fuck out.
Yeah.
As a man, you can just get your nut and be bad at sex and like get what you want out of it. But those are the guys who, when they walk off stage, they ask them, how'd it go? They say, I had fun. What about everyone else, jackass?
Yeah. I was just talking with Anthony Bonazzo.
Oh, my dad, my biological father.
Your biological father.
We pretend, but...
And I was talking with him, and he was basically saying that exact same thing, except he used the analogy of like it's like having a different sexual partner. Every audience is like a different sexual partner, and you can't just do the same move and then be like, oh, why didn't my move work on you? Works on everybody else, because it's a different partner. You have to figure out what works with this partner, and everyone's going to be different. And somebody has got this special spot that somebody else doesn't have, and you got to find that spot. It's up to you. It's your job. If you just think you're the sexiest, best fucker ever, and you just fuck so good, you're gonna like probably fuck really bad. Because you just do the same shit all the time, and that's not how sex works.
That's why they always say that really hot people are awful in bed, because they don't have to try.
I'm sure. Those are the planks that just lay down. You know, that's what happens. Because you don't have to compensate for anything.
Yeah, you do not want a 10. You want an 8 that used to be a 5.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah, used to be a 5. You go back, you go to their social media, you look. That's how you know you hit the jackpot.
I don't trust anyone who is never ugly. When I was 17, I looked like Invader Zim.
Wow. That's enlightening.
I was so skinny.
Yeah.
And had no hair. When I was like 17, 18, I was this height, but I weighed like 135 pounds.
Yeah.
And I had like a shaved head, and I just looked like an alien from outer space.
Wow. That's like, yeah. I used to have really long hair, and I think it looked so bad. And I used to, for one summer, I wore the same outfit all summer. I make a thing out of it. It was between 8th and 9th grade, I want to say. So I was an ugly person. I was ugly once. And I think it kind of made me who I am. I think you gotta be ugly.
Yeah.
You got to. You gotta be poor. You gotta be ugly. You gotta have something.
Something's gotta be wrong with you.
Because that's where you learn what life is.
If nothing's wrong, nothing's funny.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know how true this is, but I think it's mostly like 99% of the time true. I think there's people that break the rule, but I think like art comes from a place of duality and understanding where like things can go wrong. Like that's what makes an artist. That's what makes somebody who thinks too much and has to translate it. Is like they've just been in enough situations that they can find a way to capture that darkness and transform it somehow into something. Like that's, I think, what a lot of art starts from. Is like, and you don't get very interesting artists from simple lives and simple stories. It's like people who have a thing to tell you. That's where it comes from. You have to have a real struggle. It doesn't even have to be like physical. It could be like a mental struggle. You just fucking are super depressed, and you everything in your life is great, but you're depressed. It could be as simple as that. And I think that's where you see like these artists who have this dramatic. It's why comedians have this great dramatic side, and they tend to be good as actors. I feel like because most comedians are fucking broken people. You talk to them, and they are traumatic monsters.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's what makes them funny.
Yeah.
They just have that thing in them that's broken, and it makes them able to do this.
We, as a group, tend to be the kind of person that is good in doses.
Yeah. Because then you talk to them more. You're like, oh, you're crazy. You're actually crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why I love them, because they're crazy. But they're crazy. And you have to and I think if you're a person who enjoys art, you have to kind of accept it comes from like a madness.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah. And when you talk to artists all the time, you realize, oh, they are nuts. You have to look at the world wrong.
The people who are the best fans and who love it the most, whether this could be fine arts, this could be comedy, opera, ballet, anything. And it could be pop music. The biggest fans of any art form are people that would be hospitalized in the psych ward permanently if it were not their relationship to that art form.
Yeah.
You like the gay guys that will like mortgage their house and sell their cars so they can go to every day of the Mariah Carey residency.
Yeah.
No one knows more about that genre of music than them.
Yep.
No one cares about her more outside of her family. And no one is less connected to reality.
Yeah.
Like the The biggest opera fans in the world are at home with their records. They don't go out. They don't want to see. It's all in their mind. The biggest relationships of their life are with people who died in 1903.
Yeah.
Like people who would otherwise be on a straitjacket.
Yeah.
That's who lives and dies for art.
And that's art for you. Like, I mean, I think people get this wrong idea and they think that it's like all put together because that's how it's presented. But no, it is craziness, and also craziness that buys art, as you just said. It's not craziness that just makes it. It's craziness that gets into it and buys it. I mean, the people who obsess over art are also crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's also like, it's super cool when you talk to them and you realize how into anything you can get. Like the fact that anybody would even know that much about Mariah Carey, that anybody would even care. It's almost inspirational. Like, like you can do that with your thing now. You can go and be obsessed with your own thing. It doesn't have to be Mariah Carey. But for this guy, it is. I remember once I talked to a guy who told me Paul Blart Mall Cop was like his safe movie, and he watched it every night for a whole summer, and it brought him out of depression. And I just remember, like, that's how I learned that lesson, in a sense. Like, oh, it could be anything for anybody. For this guy, it was Paul Blart, and it changed his life.
And you know, the only difference between someone who does that you judge and someone that you do not judge is if you approve of the meaning that they've made out of that in their life.
Yeah.
If you have a favorite director and you've watched all of his movies 1,000 times, but you're a comic and you're a writer, you're not judging you because you have done something with the meaning that you've assigned.
Yeah.
But if you just love it, we're staring at you like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like you know, you're an autistic 9-year-old who won't put the train down.
Yeah, like that's your only thing?
Yeah.
That's the only thing for you?
But like that's the only judgment, because someone that is obsessed with ballet as a consumer, people who do it have to have a very similar level of obsession, constantly training.
Yeah.
The difference is if you have actually done something with it in your life. That's what we decide makes or doesn't make a weirdo.
Yeah. You think that's right or wrong?
That the judgment is what makes the difference.
Yeah.
I think that your life... Okay, being decisive is one of the only real forms of control a human being has. Almost everything in your life happens to you. So being decisive with a I will, I won't, yes or no is pretty much all you have. And your life has to be about something.
Yeah.
And if your life is about something that you don't really take part in, that is significant. So I understand the judgment, but it's not because I think something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
It's that, what does it say about you? That the thing that gives your life meaning has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Like, where are you at? What's your life like? What is that?
Yeah, like if you have a really strong interest in something, but it's not actually connected to anything at all. Interesting. That's really interesting to me. Because, I mean, I've always, like, for a podcast, I've always listened to podcasts. I even called this a comedy podcast before I moved here. But I wasn't actually talking to comedians. And so I was in this weird spot where it's like I'm listening to this thing all the time. Like, I hear comedians talk on podcasts all the time, but I'm not actually in that world. And so that's where I was at for the longest time. And then now I'm in it, and it makes more sense to me. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm literally doing it. So if I'm listening to that, I'm like, oh, I get it. But before it was like, it was almost like you're from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, I didn't even go to comedy shows. Like, I just listened to comedians talk on podcasts. And I think a lot of people listen to podcasts. That's what it is. You hear these people talk about things all the time, but you're not actually like with them or doing any of those things. And so it's a really weird thing that's happening where it's like you are there, but you're not there. And you're not actually, and I've never heard it put the way you just put it. Because it is weird if your life doesn't align with your interests. Like if you're like a businessman who's all dressed up, all nice, all every day being professional, but you also like love Lil Yachty, he's your favorite artist.
Yeah.
It's like that is a weird expression of your inner self.
If you're a wealthy businessman, you know, you do finance and you're the kind of guy that gets $200,000 bonuses in December.
Yeah.
If your version of a summer vacation is following the Lil Yachty tour, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you.
But there's something happening there.
Something is going on that's worth looking at.
Exactly.
What is the significance? Because to me, I think it means something that you don't want to participate in your own life. Do you not trust your own judgment? Do you think that is this a self-esteem issue? Like, why are you a spectator in your own existence?
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah. Because even like, I think most comedy club managers, bookers, producers that don't perform probably watch more comedy than the people that do.
Yep, I agree.
But they don't want to get on stage, but they made it have meaning in their life.
Exactly.
And even if they weren't making money out of it, they assigned it a value in their life that is intelligible.
And they found a way to be a part of it.
Yeah.
In a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Like a way that's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because a producer is just as important as a comedian. But and you need producers. In fact, it's actually even better if you have producers who don't do comedy.
Yes, because they're objective. They don't care about the political side of things, and they're much more. You need someone in an artistic project. You need someone that doesn't give a shit about art.
Yeah.
You
so they can.
need that.
So they are detached. So they are not going to give you the. Like, it's just you get too close to things. And when you're too close, you make political decisions.
Yeah. You need someone that is going to be non-emotional and say, I know we only have 8 people right now and you want to hold the seat more hoping someone comes.
Yeah.
But there's a show after and we're going to get yelled at by the theater. We're starting now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you just need someone that can run the place like a lesbian with a clipboard.
Yeah. Because that person's going to take over.
Yeah.
And then, and if somebody's too concerned with like, oh, I don't want these other comics to think less of me, or these are my peers, that's going to ruin that.
And you also definitely on a production team, you need someone that doesn't drink or do drugs.
Oh, wow.
You need at least one sober person that you can trust with the money.
Yeah. Wow.
You need a real adult in the room somewhere.
A straight edge person.
Yeah. And I mean, or even if it's just someone that won't drink at the show, you need someone that's going to drive the bus.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can be having a good time.
Yeah. And to
someone's got to be at work.
Yeah, somebody's got to be at work. And so it's always interesting to me to see that, and to see like somebody who's not, because to a comedian it's almost confusing. Like if you're a comedian, you're like, well, why would you want to work in comedy but not be a comedian? Like it can almost seem confusing. But to me, how you just described it is what makes sense of it. It's somebody who found a way to make it work. Like, I've always loved this thing. I want to be a part of it. How could I make it work? Like, I've always loved professional wrestling. I would never wrestle. I would never.
Yeah.
But I would be a manager.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
If I could come out and be a manager and just talk shit and like play to the story. To me, that's improv. That's just a fun improv game. That's awesome. So I like that. But I would never want to wrestle. And same thing with comedy. I love comedy. I love the world of comedy. I love talking to comedians. I like the way that they think. Like I said, more than musicians a lot of the time. I think they're more open-minded and they play more. But I would never want to be a comedian because I just don't. I'm not ready to embarrass myself for 3 years until I get good at something again.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to flop in that way and fail in that way. I just don't want to. I don't need to. But I will produce a comedy show because I have the connections and I think that would be good for that community and it'd make my presence more meaningful. Like all these things make sense, but I would never want to perform.
No.
And like sometimes you tell people that and they're like, huh? Like why would you never, you really don't want to try it? And it's like, no, not even a little bit.
Well, I mean, do you ask the costume people on Broadway when they're going to start singing?
Exactly.
Like someone has to have a technical job at the artistic thing.
Yeah.
Like I think that we are in an industry where people dabble on both sides of the fence much more.
Yeah.
Like you don't really see ballet dancers directing ballets while they're actively working. They might do it after they retire, but like it's just but we're in an industry where people tend to double dip a lot more. Like for example, not all, but I would say around a third of the staff at most comedy clubs performs.
Yeah. Or people join the staff with the intent of performing.
Yeah. And also, if you like comedy but aren't sure what to do about it, if you can get a job if you can get a job as a server in a comedy club, just do it for a few months because you'll make more money than anybody else in the house, and you will really get to see day in, day out, what am I signing up for? And you're basically doing your open mic internship, but getting your rent in a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like if you really don't know and you've got skills and you're in your 20s, I would try it.
Yeah.
If you can be a server, I would try it.
because you see it from that perspective, and you see it so often and intimately. You see it go right and wrong. Like if you're there often enough, you're gonna get a good broad sense of how it actually works.
Yeah, because you can, when you just want to perform, you don't have to deal with a lot of harsh realities because you're very busy deluding yourself. So that way you can keep going.
Right.
Like, I never saw a stand-up showcase until I produced it. I didn't know when I moved here. I knew what open mics were, and I knew what a comedy special was, and I didn't quite know what happened in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to be that stupid.
Yeah.
You are not when you work there.
No.
Like, there's just a level of delusional. Like, okay, if you do sound or something at a club, you're gonna be in staff meetings.
Yeah.
They're gonna talk about booking. You're gonna hear how people talk about comedians, how we're hired and fired.
Yeah.
You will have to act like an adult real quick.
Yeah.
And I think, if you want to get into the industry, well, first off, that's the only way you're gonna get paid well early on. So
There's no other way.
Yeah, go ahead and get the cash.
Doesn't even exist.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. And then learn and really see if this is something you want to do to yourself, because stand-up comedy is the abusive relationship that you won't leave. It's the girlfriend that slaps you in public and you still go home with her.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Like,
and comics talk about it that way.
Stand-up comedy is the boyfriend that calls your mom a cunt at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And there will be weeks where nothing good happens in that relationship. Months where you're like, this is not going anywhere. And then you have that one night that just reminds you why you fell in love with her in the first place, and you just are sucked right back into the trap.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's more so that than any other career, and that's why. And I think comedians have a certain like muscle because of that just nobody else has, because they're just so like, failure is just a part of it. You just fail. You fail upwards in this sense, and like that's a great way to look at the world. And like, it's funny to me how I think like people who don't get it yet, like if somebody's just starting comedy and you see them, they worry about the wrong stuff because they'll talk about that stuff like it matters.
Yeah.
It's like, no. People who are established fail all the time.
Yes.
Like people who have done this forever that you think are the best, they suck a lot.
I bet I'm going to have a bad set on Saturday.
Yeah.
I bet.
And it's empowering. Like when you have the proper perspective, you recognize all of that stuff as a learning experience. And to me, that's the mark of somebody who's been doing it long enough to have a mature perspective on it. Because if you're thinking about it any other way, you just haven't figured it out yet. You just haven't figured out that this is how it works. A lot of the time, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's half the game. Like, that's what's fun, is you get to be creative and try new shit. And it's not going to work.
No.
It's that risk that makes things valuable when they work. Because when it does, it's like, oh, I found it. It's like working on a joke for 10 years.
Yeah.
One day, you're going to find it. And when you do, oh my God, how did I not see it all this time? And it's so simple. It's just one word. I just had to change one word in the fucking sentence, and now everybody laughs. It'll be something as simple as that.
I literally just had a joke like that I changed a couple months ago because a comedian pointed out, I think if you switch out one word, everyone's going to get it better.
Yeah.
It was Ty Riggs. I think you've had him on.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's very funny.
Yeah, he's like, if you change, you got to change the name of the team. If you switch that from Raiders to Packers, everyone's going to get it.
And that was it.
Yes.
Just the name of a team.
Yeah. Made all the difference.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's not that...
And it's like, there's not even a perfect logical explanation. It just is funnier.
It's sort of like if you have to use a number in a joke. Some numbers are funnier than others.
Yeah.
And like you just find it in the way. Like I remember like one of the jokes that Joan Rivers used to do when she was alive and like younger. She would say, like, when she's talking about pregnancy, she's like, oh, I was in labor for 108 days. If you use any other number, it's not funny. 92 is not funny. 109 is not as funny as 108. 73 doesn't work.
108. It's just something funny about that. Wow. 108 days. That is funny. That's such an odd thing because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
There's no good reason. but it works. Like, it's tried and true.
Three and a half months isn't funny. Like, 11 weeks wouldn't be funny. Like, I don't know why.
And no one knows why. Probably not even her.
No.
She's just said it enough times to figure it out. Yeah.
You just found it.
And that is, to me, like, that's the kind of stuff where it's like you have to be thinking so ahead of yourself long term to even be able to find that stuff. Like, you have to be allowing yourself to just fucking try and shoot from the hip. Because otherwise, you're just going to say the one unfunny number because that's just
what's on your
how
mind.
You wrote it. It's what's on your mind. That's the honest truth. But you never tried. You never tried the other things because there's a magic in that. And just like, oh, nope, not tonight. Oh, nope, not tonight. Oh, nope, not tonight. Oh, there it is.
And that is why every single comic, poet, writer, whoever, never, ever throw away a notebook, a legal pad. I don't want to sound bougie right now, but I have a cleaning lady. And like one of the only specific instructions, you can clean whatever you want with whatever you want. You will never throw away a piece of paper in my house.
Oh, because it could be anything.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
And I, at least twice a year, because I keep everything. If you come to my house and come to my living room, you'll see where, like, my storage and organization, I have kept almost every notebook for 10 years. And twice a year, I go through them because there's something in there I forgot about that's funny now, or I can do better now. There's always,
and like you were
something
saying earlier
there.
about being ahead of yourself.
Yeah. But you have to give yourself that room to say, I don't need to figure this out now, and that's okay. I can look at this later, and that can be in 3 days or 3 years. Like, that's fine.
Like, there's an idea here, though.
Yeah,
like, believing that there's something here. And I'll just lay the breadcrumbs.
Well, because when you think about it, if you look at other forms of writing, it's not out of the ordinary for someone to spend 3 to 5 years on a novel.
Yeah.
And it's also not out of the ordinary for someone, which, not that they're comparable because a hour special is 1/10 the length of a novel.
Yeah.
But 30 pages versus 300. But like, it's normal for people to spend 3 to 5 years on a novel. And it's also very normal for a novelist to really return to the same themes throughout their career. So why wouldn't you have a 4-year-old joke about your sister that you couldn't figure out that works better now because you talk about your family a lot more now, so you can slide that in and it makes more sense with other stuff. You didn't have the rest of the bit yet. You had to write 3 minutes to get to use the one-liner. Okay.
Yeah.
And writing those 3 minutes took 2 years. That's fine. You have to give yourself the time to know that I don't have to figure this out today. But again, a lot of that came from opera because I knew it can take you a year to learn a role if the music's really complicated. And there are some roles that if you keep your technique in order and you're healthy, there are some things you might sing for 25 years.
Yeah.
There are some things that you'll know when you're 25 that you're going to do when you're 50, but you can't get anywhere near till 45. Wow. You're invested in the future, and you know that you can look at things over time in pieces that, like, one of the roles for me that I could have done for a long time was the soldier in Madame Butterfly. If you're familiar with the story at all.
No.
American soldier goes to Japan, marries this Japanese girl, fucks her, runs away back to America. She's got this kid. She's isolated, and then he comes back to take the kid, and she kills herself.
Oh, great ending.
Yeah, I know, right? One of the roles that I could have kept in my voice for 20, 25 years if I chose to sing would have been playing the general, Pinkerton, the American guy who comes to Japan for her. I knew that if I debuted that in Europe at this age and kept it together until 48, that what I was doing 20 years from now would just be sharper and better and deeper and more. My characterization would shift, that I'd be able to make different choices because I was not letting go of it.
Yeah.
So it could be as much as it could be because I gave myself time, because I was going to work with different directors, because I was going to do it in different parts of the world. Because I found one of my themes, one of my roles, one of my things that I'm just going to stick with.
Yeah.
It can take as long as it takes. I know I'm going to be talking about being a hillbilly, being like not straight. I don't like to use the word queer, but like being not straight, being a hillbilly. Those are like my eternal. Most comics are only talking about 3 to 5 topics.
Yeah.
For me, it's like gender, sexuality, race, observational, family.
Yeah.
I will always be coming back to that. So if there's something in one of those categories that I don't know what to do with yet, fine. I'm never shutting up about that subject, so we'll revisit it.
How much stuff do you think you have like that? It's just sitting there waiting to be. Is it like a lot? Just a plethora, just a mountain of ideas?
Oh,
or is
yeah. If I didn't have to work, I could spend the rest of my life in different forms trying to accomplish like what's going on in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that makes me think, with that sense of accomplishment, like with the writing and with the turnover, you have to put a lot in to put a lot out. And people who don't read, who don't listen to weird music, who don't put things in their head that they wouldn't otherwise, there's not a lot to come out. But like,
or just you start recycling your own material.
Yeah, but like, because I read a lot and because I read a lot of nonfiction, I mainly read nonfiction and academic stuff. Like, if I get a wild hair at my, like, okay, this happened a few months ago. I just got bored and decided to start doing a lot of research on incels because it takes about 5 or 10 years after something is happening for the academics to have enough data and enough sources and enough to really start writing about it.
Yeah.
So most of the academic stuff that's been published in journals on incels is like 2019 and later, 2021 and more recent.
Yeah.
And so I read about 10 different journal articles. And then that turned into like a 3-minute bit. But if I hadn't tried to read something serious on it, I could never have gotten to the silly part because the silly part is I do stand up and none of y'all can get any pussy, haha. If I don't get deeper than that, there's not really anything there other than like pointing and laughing.
Yeah. And so the research is part of it?
Yeah, you have to put shit in to put stuff out.
Yeah.
If you only leave your house to go to mics and comedy shows, you're not putting anything in to put anything out.
Yeah.
You need to go find a $15 concert for a genre or an artist you've never heard of or wouldn't normally go see and just see what the fuck happens. You need to go to a bar that you would never ever go to by yourself, no headphones, no book, and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Put yourself in a situation where you're going to get in a little bit of trouble. You have to do something.
Yeah, because I mean, it's those experiences that, I mean, like the grand example of it is you become a comic who just talks about I was flying first class and then this happened. Because it's like you're so not aware of yourself that you don't even realize you're coming off that way. And that's, you see happen time and time again. That's why it's kind of dangerous for a comedian to become successful.
Yes.
Because your life becomes different and you're trying to talk about your life. And so if you don't have these grounded experiences, you end up just talking about rich people stuff.
You are living less life. You have less time.
Yeah.
And higher standards. It's an awful concoction.
Yeah.
Because everyone's first special's really good because they were working on it for 15 years.
Yeah. It's their baby.
Like they nurtured that. Like, and they had all the time in the world. And even if they are incredibly brilliant, if I give you 2 years to do something versus 15, probably gonna do better with 15. But the expectations only get more and more and more.
Yeah.
Where I think that a lot of comedians have been able to side their way around it is that they will go from dirtbag, and then the way that they mask the rich guy transition is they go from dirtbag to dad, and they never discuss the private plane.
Right.
Because that is the way most of them get around it, is by having children.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I think that that's going to have to stop, one, because less people are having kids.
Yeah.
And two, we all know what you're up to.
Yeah, we get it. We've seen this.
Yeah. Ray Romano already made all the money there is to make on this.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
And everybody loves Raymond.
Yes. Okay, I actually love that sitcom. I think Everybody Loves Raymond is Roseanne for middle class people.
Woo!
And I also think, and this is like, I know I sound schizophrenic. I don't care. I think that Everybody Loves Raymond is actually a low level fantasy.
Oh.
Because I think that Okay, because you know how Deborah and Rob always had a crush on Deborah? Mm-hmm. I think that Robert and Deborah are actually married. Raymond died as a baby, and the entire family is obsessed over Raymond.
Oh.
That's why everyone, because he's like this, it's like the presence of his absence.
Yeah. I like this David Lynch-esque interpretation.
That's what I see. That's what I see. Because no one behaves like that over a human being that's like actually around.
He's got to be a figment.
Yeah.
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 Like just an idea that looms over this household.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, if you grew up in a family where, like, one of your grandparents was already passed away by the time you had memories or something.
Yeah.
But, like, people that are not around, but that are referenced become mythological and they become very central. And so that's sort of where I see it, because, like, my grandmother's been dead for 15 years, but she still runs my life like she's alive.
Yeah.
Like, they're just, some people's absence is their presence.
And she might as well be Zeus.
Oh, precisely. Precisely.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That is an interesting phenomena, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure that I've never experienced it like a Mexican household, because I mean they literally have Day of the Dead. Like their whole culture is surrounded with honoring the dead and viewing the dead as if they are alive in a sense. Like their life is. I mean, what do you call that thing with I mean, it's in the movie. It's in the movie. If you guys saw Coco, at the very end, they got the plaque.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it, but it's like it's got everybody's faces on it, and it's just really, really interesting how their culture views that kind of thing, because it's like they make a thing of it. It's not just like, you know, your family's thing; it's every family's thing.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I've never had any fear of death because I was always around old people. Old people get sick.
Yeah,
and like I also was like a caretaker for a lot of these people when I was young.
Yeah,
and I also grew up very religious, so I don't have any fear of it.
Yeah,
and I also I don't feel really separate from them, because I take them with me. Like, I've never gone on stage by myself because everyone who ever loved me is hanging around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel alone in that sense, because like I very much am not.
Yeah. I've thought that too. I've thought that I could never really be alone because of the amount of people who have expressed the opposite to me.
Yeah, like I have been too loved even by people who weren't around to really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible. Like I remember when I moved here, that was something that my dad said to me. It's like, aren't you worried about being alone? And I basically said that. I said, like, I'm never really alone.
No.
Like because I've had such love that it's kind of like, if you forget, I feel like you're disgracing that love. Like when people express love to you and they say they care about you. And I've also just in my life, I've experienced more people care than I ever see. You know, it's like you never know how many people are going to be at your funeral, kind of thing.
No.
And it's often more than you would think.
I take it a little bit more, because like that sense of spirituality, my family's Appalachian, we are proper country people.
Mountain folk.
Yes. And I even take some of that a little bit more seriously than some of my family who've like moved a little bit away from it. Because like I remember when I moved up here, I was on the phone with my mom, and she's getting a little freaked out because she'd noticed that I would say we a lot. And she's like, you live by yourself, like you're not in the dorm. Who's we? And I'm like, oh, me and God. I don't.
She's like, he's schizophrenic.
And
I knew
he's like, no, we're all right.
Yeah.
We got this.
And you meant it though.
Yeah.
You meant it legitimately.
Yeah.
Like me and God, we're here. We're doing good.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Because you're not alone.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's like, you just feel secure when you think that way, I think. Like when you don't accept loneliness as loneliness.
No.
Like when you reinterpret that. Because I don't think that way. Matter of fact, I appreciate solitude.
Yes.
And I think that's a valuable thing. I almost don't like being surrounded. I
plan on living alone till the day after I die. And
I'm sure your future lovers are so excited to hear that.
I tried living with someone I was dating once. I've been almost engaged twice.
Yeah.
And that was enough.
It's for some people it's tough.
I lived with a man for 6 months and I can't. I just can't.
It
was awful.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd have to, all those things that you could ignore and just be like, that's just them. Now it's a part of your daily, everyday life.
Yeah, because that's the
surrounded
thing.
by
like, it. I have a very short leash for who I'm dating.
Yeah.
Because my friends who I love and adore and am very, very close to and have like Avatar ICU connected tails bonds with, they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want because I don't have to deal with the consequences of it in and out. It's not going to be in my face every single day. Yeah. They will eventually go home and it will eventually no longer be my problem. Yeah. But if you got fucked up shit in your head and you want to be around me every day, this stops right now and I am indeed the boss of it.
Yeah, because now it's my life.
Yeah.
Now it's not your life. Now it's my life.
I'm not in the business of compromising about every fucking thing that happens to me every day for the rest of my life.
Me neither.
So we're doing it my way or you can go fuck yourself on the highway.
Yeah.
So like, I need a doormat.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy to, I don't know, I went through 2 breakups last year, so I think
of it like there's gonna,
chilling.
If soulmates exist, that, because I think the same way as you, but I bet there's a soulmate out there that's just gonna live with me, like it's gonna sync right up and it's gonna make perfect sense. They'll give me just the right amount of space. At least I sure fucking hope so. Because like I'm the type of guy too where I just give too much of myself away. So I got to be careful. Like if I'm surrounded by someone all the time, I'm just going to give myself to them all the time. And that's where I'll fuck up. Like I need somebody who's going to push me. Like no, you go do your thing and stop giving me I have the other things to do and they have other, because if I can, I'll just give myself away to somebody.
You'll codependent.
I guess so. Yeah. And it's what makes me a good conversationalist, but it's also, oh my God, I'm my own worst enemy.
One of the decisions that I made that has made certain, like part of making that decision and staying to it a lot easier is because I had a vasectomy in the fall. So people, like, if a woman wants to get married and have children, it is very clear I cannot help you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I already, like, for political reasons, would never get married.
Yeah.
But, like, if you want that shit,
yeah. So you're going to get a real relationship then. Dude, there's not going to be any strings attached, is what it is. You're not going to get somebody who's, like, they're trying to procreate and they'll deal with all this other shit. They're going to get you.
What I really think would work is like a woman in like her late 30s or early 40s that's already been divorced.
Yeah.
Like someone who's already like tried to do everything the nice way. And it was like, what if like we just kind of wrote our own terms?
Yeah.
Someone who's kind of like already done it and kind of learned the lesson and is not going to bother me with all their... fucking...
And they don't want a baby anymore. They're over that too.
Yeah.
They got to be over that part too. They can't be trying to have kids. We're done with that.
No. Because I've dated a woman that had a kid before. Like, I don't care. Like, that's fine. That's like a non-issue.
You're just not trying to be a cuck or anything.
No, I'm not trying to have... No.
You don't want that.
No, I'm not trying to have any, because also I've always dated older.
Oh, I meant be a cuck, like have her want to fuck another guy because she still wants babies.
Oh,
I don't meant like be a cuck to someone else's child.
No,
that's fine.
Yeah, no, that no, under no circumstances.
Yeah.
Despite being one of the great whores of history, I am monogamous when I'm dating.
Oh yeah.
I truly have fucked everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I believe you.
Yeah.
You're like Genghis Khan numbers. You're talking.
It would be 2 shows at Laugh Factory, probably.
All right.
Yeah, up to the balcony.
Your hands are going to run out of space. You're trying to count on your hands, you're going to run out of hands.
Oh, yeah. I would run out of people's hands to use.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You know? That's how you know you're out there.
But yeah, when I'm in a relationship, either way, I'm not trying to deal with other people being involved in it. I have dated 2 women at once.
Yeah.
Never again.
Just sounds like
never again.
A bad rom-com. Like, it never goes well. Those movies never go well. You can't have a love triangle. Like, you can only do that in media. You can't do that in real life. I think it never works.
The only way you can do it in real life is if none of you actually like each other too much.
Yes.
If you've kind of got that, like, avoidant thing, which I don't like attachment theory. I don't think it's real.
Yeah.
But if you have what they call the avoidant thing,
Yeah.
then doing that stuff's fine because you're never with anybody you actually want to be with.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
the
fine.
only way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it kind of just depends what you think a relationship is.
Yeah.
Because if you think a relationship is that, then yeah, it's awesome. But if you're the type of person who thinks a relationship is like us connecting, then
Yeah.
that's not going to be what you're going to get.
You want me
from
to plan my future around you?
Yeah.
No.
And then you add another person. Now you got to plan your future around 3 people or 2
disgusting.
people. 3 people. I don't know how big these polygamous relationships get. It's probably like a net. Eventually you got 6 people in one relationship, you know? It's like, how do you break up with one of them? How do you get one person out of a 5-way relationship? You think we have a vote? How does this work?
No. Okay,
So I'm not in this world. I don't know. You guys gonna have to comment. Let me know.
okay, I'm good to continue, but I need to piss.
I've been waiting to get more coffee, so there we go. But I mean, yeah, I could say we got another good 20 minutes on this.
Now-
Another good. We've got a whole 3 hours now. Look
Damn.
at us. Time flies.
So I wanted to ask, when you were younger, did you listen to a lot of talk radio?
No.
Because you're a pretty solid. This is kind of the format you're for.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I had a radio show for 2 years. I've done a lot of music journalism. Like, you got that pretty solid.
I've
You
got
this
no
going on.
training. I think it's just I listen to podcasts and that's it. I listen to podcasts of people talking and I was like, oh, I must have just absorbed it. Because the reason I even got into doing this is because I was doing an interview show that just kind of came about. Like I was with people and it was after I was in a band at the time called the Lemon Collies and we were actually in Chicago. It was the first time I'd ever been here. And the band we were with was called Swatches, and we were standing out waiting for their Uber. And I said, oh, I could interview you guys. I got a camera. And so 60 minutes with them, and they were waiting for an Uber. So somebody makes the joke oh, how about 60 seconds with them? I was like, oh, that's genius. And so then I just tried to film the interview as fast as I could. And then what the format became was I would film a normal interview and I would cut it down to 60 seconds. And you would always get something unique because it's just at that point, you're cutting so much fat, you're going to get something different for everybody. And part of the trick is to take myself out of it. But I found, as in, if I ask you a question, I want you to restate. So that way you're going to make your own answer, and it's going to sound like you're just talking. And I'm taking myself away as much as possible. I don't want a question to pop on screen. I don't want anything. I want it to just be you. And what I found was what I was doing was making people comfortable. I don't know what it is about me, but there's something that I do right. And I what I would do things if I'm asking you a question, I'm interviewing you, you might say something and then I'll just put the camera down and just talk to you for a minute or two, responding to what you're saying. And that type of stuff opens people up. But I felt like I was losing so much because of the way that the episodes work. Because it's you cut it to 60 seconds and you don't see all that in between stuff. And I think there's a lot there. That's what I like about podcasts. That's what I've always liked about them. So I don't like cutting anything out because I think you get a certain view of somebody, and I think that's what good interviewers do. If you just have the right intentions and the right approach, you get a glance at somebody that you wouldn't otherwise get. And it takes a certain type of openness and a certain type of for me, that's what I think is possible with something like this is most people don't know what it's like to be in front of a camera and to set it up and start talking. And as soon as they do, they're an entertainer. And so I think what I have the opportunity to do is to bring people in and kind of get them to be a version of themselves they didn't even know they could be. Because we're both finding something at the same time. And that's what you can do. But most people don't do that. Most people are I think they're too showy with podcasts and radio shows and everything. They're not casual enough, and you get, because of that because you lead with that, you get more of an entertainer out of people. You get more of they're trying too hard type of thing. Because you led with that, and you made them think they had to do that, and you didn't let them just be comfortable from the start.
And there's a reason that Tonight Show style talk shows only last 45 minutes, an hour. There's a reason no one does longer than a 12-minute segment, because if you're gonna be like that, you can't stretch it to this length of time.
You can't.
There has to be a degree of emotional presence, and really you not necessarily have to think like a therapist, but you genuinely have to think like you're talking with a friend off of no intimacy whatsoever, and kind of give that sense of intimacy. Okay, when I was doing music journalism for Black Music Archive, I booked an interview with a singer who, she's still alive. She retired probably 20 years ago, but like still teaches, still involved. And I wanted to bring her on because the YouTube channel is called Black Music Archive, and we talk, for us, Black music is everyone, because everyone's influenced.
Yeah.
Like if you're American, if you
like rock music, hip hop music,
rock
the
music,
roots
hip hop.
of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that also does include like singers and writers who aren't Black. Like it's a wide swath. And I wanted to bring her on because her name's Aprile Milo. She's one of the old school, she's like considered the last of the golden age. Like back when in the 1950s and 60s, it was considered like the heyday of Italian opera. And she was like trained by those people and really reminded them of the past. And she sort of brought that tradition to the 90s, to the 2000s. And I wanted to bring her on to talk about that style. We call it italianità in Italian, or Italianness. Like, how do you bring out that ancient tradition in a modern way and bring people to something that's very old school, very far away from them, but make that very close? What does that mean musically? What does that mean for you personally? Because we talk about being proud of who we are.
Yeah.
We deeply appreciate your work. You have Black fans, whether you know it or not. I want to give you a space to talk about being proud of who you are and where you came from and what that has to do with your art.
Yeah.
And because we want to talk about that, because we made her comfortable with that, she then freely of her own volition, without us asking a single question related to it, opened up with her own history in opera of using blackface.
Wow.
We did not ask, but we made her feel safe and comfortable, talk about who she was, where she came from, what that had to do with her art.
Yeah.
And she then talked about, singing an Ethiopian princess for 15 years.
Yeah. And I'm sure in her telling of the story, when she was doing that, it wasn't interpreted as offensive.
Not at all. And also in opera, they still do it. In Europe, they also still do it.
Interesting.
If you go to a drag club in Italy, you're gonna see a white guy painted up as Dionne Warwick.
Wow.
Like, it's still like a thing everywhere else.
Yeah.
And she talked about, really, first of all, well, actually, one of the things that we brought up when she started to share was that, well, no one thought it was funny when the Black singers that we grew up listening to, no one thought it was funny when they were painted to look German.
Right.
No one thought it was funny when they were painted to look Scottish. And we weren't trying to demonstrate the false equivalency. The important thing that she said was the minstrel tradition of the abuse and the dehumanization comes from vaudeville and comes from comedy. I feel like what my generation of singers did, and the generations before that, was much closer to Laurence Olivier playing Othello. That when it's drama and when you're showing human emotions and when you are in the most beautiful costumes, not trying to look like a joke about a Black person, but look like a beautiful princess, to look like an elegant king, to be the general, to really show something real, to show something human in a tragedy, in a drama, is completely different than, shoe polish.
Right.
And, Bojangles and, Step and Fetch It. And whether or not you agree with that or think that's true or think that's an excuse or think that, what does history have to do with today, blah, 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 blah. The point is that when you create an environment where people feel safe, they will share shit that maybe they've never told anyone.
Yeah, they don't even, because, I think what it really is that we learn about ourselves through talking. And we learn about ourselves through communicating, and we test our ideas constantly. And you would never in a vacuum do that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're talking with someone, it's like there's a real energy exchange, especially in I don't think you can even do it through a phone. I don't think you can do it through a video call. It has to be in person.
Yeah.
There's an energy exchange that happens. And I think that when that occurs, I think what a therapist really does right, if they're doing their job right, is they just get you to say the thing. They're just getting you there. And then you're just talking about yourself, and then eventually they'll just point something out about you to yourself that you didn't realize was a pattern. And that's really when they're doing their job right, is when you did most of the work and they just give you one little bit of information that you might not have connected. And you're like, oh, that is probably where that starts. But it's stuff like that where, and I think that's what conversations do, and that's why people do this, where they'll reveal a part of themselves they didn't expect to reveal, because they didn't know they were going to feel like that, and they didn't know they were going to feel so safe. And so when you're safe, you just start talking, And one thing I've noticed doing this long enough is everybody's so different. It's like the same thing we were talking about earlier with like an audience, and like you compare an audience to sex. Every single time you talk with somebody new, you're kind of figuring them out along the way, especially if it's like a 2-hour conversation. And people are different. Like some people will just go. They'll just give you gifts and you just get to take them, and I barely have to try. Other people, it's like, oh, I gotta work here. And but it's rewarding, because then you just ask the right question and they light up and they'll tell you all about this thing that you didn't even know they had that interest, but you got them there somehow. And like I said, some people are easy mode, some people are hard mode, but it's all the same game, and it's all like it's. A lot of it is probably like safety. It's probably like you're saying. It's probably a lot of it is probably just feeling safe. And like I think when you present that type of atmosphere, people feel safe. And when you tell people exactly what your intentions are and you are being honest, people feel safe. Like when I feel like you're real, when I feel like you're a real person. Because I think just so often it's just you show up to an interview and people are so interviewee, and they think they have to do all these niceties and do all these things. It's like, most people just want a real experience, and that's what gets them to open up to you, because they feel like you're a real person.
And that's one of the rarest things of all.
It is rare, and like it makes me real. It makes you appreciate the real people in your life, because there's so many people. Like I believe in NPC theory. I think NPCs exist. I think a lot of people I know are probably NPCs, and that's okay.
I think that's just low brain activity.
Low brain activity?
Yeah, like we just
have a different name for it now.
I think some people, like, okay, the way that the formula for IQ works is that like 100's always average, right?
Yeah.
I think some people are just chilling out at like a 94.
Yeah.
And it's not enough to make life hard, but it's just enough to like not really care.
Yeah.
To just like when things get just a little bit complicated, just kind of like put it down. Like they're not disabled, they're not stupid, they're probably like teachers and fucking accountants and shit, like running normal lives. But they just like get to a point of complexity where it's like, okay, that ain't worth it. And they just walk away from it.
And I've seen that a lot of that, and I don't know what. I feel like I'm the crazy one. Like that's why I think artists are crazy, because I actually think that's the correct response, is to do that, to not care and just let things be as they are and just exist. Like, why would you have this burning desire to express yourself? Like, there's got to be something wrong with you, because why are you stressing yourself out all the time? Like, to me, that's stressful, to want to create and to care about all that. Like, I'm never satisfied with what I've done, ever. I'm always like, oh, I could have done better. I could have done more. And those people are not like that. People who are like at that low level, they're living good.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't think about this stuff. They just consume things, and they just move about their lives, and they learn about whatever area they're going to learn about. They work whatever job they work, and they're happy.
Yes.
And that's like, I wish I could live like that.
I think to a certain extent, joy must be a form of thoughtlessness.
I think so. Well, I mean, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And in that, I think thoughtlessness, like, I think people who are truly intelligent are tortured by intelligence. Like, it's just how it works. If you're actually smart, you don't want to know all the stuff you know, because that sucks. It sucks to think about things.
It's a responsibility.
And yeah, it's like, you should, and it sucks to like think of things in such a way where everything, because I think everything's complicated and everything is nuanced, and everything you could look into, and you could spend a whole day researching, pick anything, and you could spend a whole day researching that. And if you think on those levels constantly, then you will torture yourself with information, because you are you're never looking at anything at a base level. You're always thinking like, oh, okay, but where did that start? And well, like, curiosity is torture.
Literally, all I read is academic books and academic journals, and for like the past decade, that's pretty much been what it is.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just at a point where I feel like, have you ever are you aware of Cassandra from Greek mythology?
I know Greek mythology. I don't know if I could speak Cassandra. Is she a writer?
No, she was one of the goddesses. She was cursed for...
None of them have normal names like that,
No.
though. She has a normal name?
Yeah.
Lucky her.
I think the way I remember it is Zeus was in love with her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, but Zeus fucked regular women.
Yeah. I don't know if Cassandra. I think she was a goddess though, but maybe I'm wrong. But Zeus wanted Cassandra, and she turned him down. And his curse for her for having refused him was that she would always be right and never be believed.
Gotcha.
And so there's a thing called the Cassandra complex, like mental health world, where it's like that thing that people get when they know what's up, but they're gaslit into, doubting the things. And,
you ever see Dan Simo's bit on like Jesus? It's very funny because it's like the idea is there's so many people in these insane asylums.
Jesus has come back and we put him in the psych ward.
Yeah, that's what that makes me think of.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, we wouldn't even know. If they were right, we wouldn't know. We just assume they're crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, I have been saying for the past 10 years, like I completely forecasted our political situation right now.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was going to happen 10 years ago. I was telling anybody who would listen to me, because the first half of my degree was Spanish Lit, then I switched to sociology and Black Studies. But when I was like in the first half of college in the Spanish department, I was telling anybody that would listen that this was going to go the way of Venezuela and Chile before we knew it.
Yeah.
I knew there were going to be government coups and people were going to go missing and we were going to see political activists and college students disappear off buses. I knew we were going back to 1974 Chile.
Yeah.
I knew it. And everyone said, "You're crazy. You're overreacting. It's not that bad. We don't know." Okay.
How did you know?
I could tell that we were in the cute part before everything got scary. I knew that first term of Trump was the cute part because like that was actually like the adorable, like the art, isn't this nice?
Yeah.
That was the cute part. Because most of the time when we go in to tear up another country, we're mad over a democratic election.
Yeah.
So, like, that's sort of where I figured, like, if we blew ourselves up, it would be over a reaction to an like, we are going to blow up over our own choices. The same way we went and tore up Chile because they had the audacity to actually democratically elect a communist.
Yeah.
So they just blew his brains out.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened if we had Bernie. Having Trump just made it happen 10 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
That's a fun thing. That's a fun thing about America is we're the biggest supporters of democracy, and then like any democracy around the world, we like reframe it as not democracy.
Yeah.
We just trick our own people.
Yeah, we decide.
We just gaslight them to be like, no, that wasn't democracy. That was rigged. That one was rigged.
It's like, doesn't count.
And we're the democracy people. We're the only ones.
Absolutely.
Supposedly, we're the ones.
We're the boss of that. But yeah, I knew it was all gonna go this direction from having to study like Latin American politics to an extent from the Spanish degree.
Yeah.
And then
and history's all about patterns.
And then also because the last half of my degree was race theory, really getting into the intricacies of Jim Crow really helped me see like, okay, this is just
how just the synchronicities, like the similarities.
Langston Hughes, who's a great Black American poet from like Harlem Renaissance era and dabbled in social theory because sociology didn't quite exist at that time period for Black people. We had W.B. Du Bois and that was it. But Langston Hughes said he defined fascism as, what did he said? He said fascism is the state of all Americans achieving the status of Negro. Basically, we all niggas now, and that's what fascism is.
I think that's what Kanye was trying to say with New Slaves. I think that's what the song was supposed to be.
The underclass is all y'all.
Yeah.
Like, there is no hierarchy. Well, there's no hierarchy as we understand it. There's no spectrum as we understand it. It is rich, poor, like them, us. Like, it is not.
Yeah, and the middle class, like, you look at how that's shifted throughout the years. Like, now I think you have to be in the 100Ks to be middle class.
So
we're all just lower class now.
If you told me how much money I would need to live very, very normally as a single person.
Yeah.
I go on one vacation a year. I cook at home. Like I don't wild out. But like my mom had 3 kids on 35 grand.
Yeah.
That's dead.
Yeah.
Before she bought a house, like our rent was $550. Like for a 3-bedroom.
It's unbelievable.
That's dead.
It's actually like unbelievable how things have gotten because
and this was 15 years ago. This was not this is in recent memory.
Yeah, you could buy a house.
Yes.
You could think one day I'll buy a house.
Yes.
Now if you're thinking that, you are a lunatic.
I remember, okay, so this is funny. So that's still how their financial mind still works.
Yeah. Bless their hearts.
Because I work for the state. And so when you are a state employee or a government employee, like your salary information is public.
Yeah.
Like anyone can find out. And one of my uncles, who at this point I don't think I'd seen in like 2 or 3 years, I guess just got bored and decided to Google how much money I made 5 years ago. I was making like 42 or something sad. And he texted me out of nowhere, "So Matt, when are you going to buy a house?" Do you know where I fucking live? If I lived in Springfield, Illinois, and I made $23 an hour, I'm not buying a house.
Yeah.
If I made what I made at my first full-time job then, I'm still living in a trailer.
Yeah.
Why don't any of you know how money works?
Buy a house. You would need so much money to buy a house. I mean, if you want to move to Detroit, maybe you could buy a house. Like, there's places you can go.
What it would cost for me to get a condo where I live up here, I could buy a farm in Kentucky where I'm from.
Yeah. Like, in
like
Chicago. And we're talking, Chicago's cheap if you compare it to another major city.
Every major city, it's the most affordable.
Yeah.
There is no world in which you are buying a house that is actually in the city and not on the edge.
Right.
Like, because if you want to go out by Midway, you can probably find a place for $250. Mm-hmm. But if you want to live like in the city, you're spending $400 grand on a cheap condo.
Yeah, my mom, every now and then she'll just be with me and she'll go on Zillow or whatever and look, and it's like, you got to be, if you want like a nice place, we're talking $1 million plus.
Yeah.
You want a nice place in a nice area, $1 million plus at least. Like, you need digits to make that
affordable.
Yeah.
Affordable is under $500,000.
And that's like, even then, that's not going to be like a nice big house.
No.
It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be like if you wanted to buy a 3-story complex thing that's really meant for renting out.
$1.5 million.
That's going to be, I think around here, like, because I'm on the upper north side, I think you can get something like that for $400,000.
What?
I might be wrong.
Okay.
But I think that's what you can do. I think like if we're talking like 2 stories and each one's got 3 bedrooms.
Oh, okay.
A bathroom. I think for that type, you got a yard, all of that. Maybe even you got a basement. That's going to be like $500K or below, I think. But that's like way up on the north side. If we're talking like you're getting closer to downtown, maybe you're in Lincoln Park, you ain't getting it for that price anymore.
No.
Now you're
no.
1 million plus for sure, because that's fucking, like, it's just such a difference. And heaven forbid your neighborhood gets written about in like an article saying, oh, one of the best neighborhoods in Chicago, underrated. You're fucked. Now your rent's going up. Now everything's ruined because they are recognizing that it's a nice place.
I will tell anybody who will listen that last year they found a decapitated head in a box down the street from me, and that on Christmas Day, one of my friends got mugged walking home from my place.
So that keeps rent down.
Yes. Did you know they took Darnell's phone? Yeah, right on the street in front of God and everybody. Can you believe it?
You know what? I'll say my neighborhood's not great. There was a gun fired over by where the red line stop is, and the glass was broken for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's not a lie. That's my neighborhood. So I think you're right. I need to take your angle, start talking shit. Because that's exactly right. It's not perfect. Every now and then, I do hear gunshots, okay?
I got bear sprayed the week of Halloween. I'll tell anyone. I will tell anyone. Like, I like that my rent is $11.20.
Someone told me, I was with my friend and we were in Andersonville, and this is exactly what happened to Andersonville. And he told me the rent down there used to be so cheap.
Yes.
Because that's he brought that up. He's like, oh, I used to live here. I had paid this much for rent. I'm like, oh my God, you don't know? Like, the rents went up so much. And it's because everybody started saying Andersonville's great. It's an underrated neighborhood.
Yes.
And it got ruined because now it's expensive.
Yeah, no, I have I call them my gay dads. I met him when I was like 19. They've been together as long as I've been
Bonazzo,
alive.
that's one of them.
No, me and Anthony fuck.
Different dad.
Yeah, they actually run a great podcast called Feast of Fun. It was like one of the first gay podcasts. They've been around for like 15 years.
Oh, cool.
But I bring up Fausto and Mark because they have lived in their neighborhood on the north side. I think they're a little bit south of here, like Edgewater or something. They've lived there since 1999, 2000.
Wow.
And it's affordable because they bought it. They could not afford to rent there now, but it was cheap in the 90s, and so you kind of lock it in there.
Yeah.
And so you can stay there. The people who are in their 50s that live there are not paying what you would pay to live there.
Right. And often what you'll see with like landlords is stuff like that.
Because they got in before it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to make a bunch of money. You have to be really strategic because, and people think that you can only do this like in the hood. They will foreclose and auction houses in Jefferson Park.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to own something,
Yeah.
you might be able to squeeze something. If you have 20 grand cash, you might be able to find a miracle.
Yeah.
You
And
might.
owning is find some way. I just heard this. You got to find some place where somebody just died there
Yes.
because it's way cheaper.
Yes. So my grandma bought me and my mom a trailer because the people who lived in it before, the guy killed himself.
That is a
Deal.
you got to look at that as a
Deal.
blessing.
Yes.
You got to be like, God gave me
Yes.
a deal today.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is, it's hard to pass that up. I'm talking like 50% off. They go crazy with that.
The other thing to look for is drugs because when I moved into my apartment,
Yeah.
I'm not joking, 1 bedroom with a deck. It's hood adjacent, but it's not bad at all. 1 bedroom with a deck. When I moved in there in 2021, my rent was $950.
Woo!
Because
What's the square footage, you know? Like 500?
$550.
That's about the same as this. That's good.
And
God, that's a good price.
it was so cheap back then because the people that were in it before didn't really live there. They were just making meth and selling it out of there. And so they just wanted to get them out. And also because the rest of my neighbors are like older, they were like actually scared.
Yeah.
They're like, this is fucked up. So they just wanted to get someone nice and normal in. And so they're hoping,
Whoever comes in ignores the smell.
Yeah.
That's just remnants of meth.
Yeah,
No
it's
big
fine.
deal.
it reminded me of childhood.
Yeah.
Well, I came from more of a pill home. So,
Yeah.
But
the spirit. It's
Absolutely.
the spirit. It's the same.
But yeah, no, it was dirt fucking cheap, and they barely raise it every year. So
Yeah.
they'll carry me out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Like now it's like you're in it. Like, how do you leave?
And it is 3/4 a mile away from my office, and my gym is halfway between my apartment and my office. I can't leave.
So the location's like perfect.
I can't leave.
Yeah.
I will never get a better anything.
Exactly. You have this weird relationship with something like that where it's like you could never let it go.
No, I have literally told my property manager that when the family downstairs leaves, I want the 2-bedroom downstairs because I need more space, but I don't want to leave the spot.
You guys mind if I put some stairs in between? Like we cut a hole in the floor,
Literally.
make this a.
Because there's 5 units in the building. Well, technically 6, but the front is a salon. But there's 5 residential units. There's 4 1-bedrooms. I live in one of them. And then downstairs there's a proper 2-bedroom condo.
That'd be kind of cool to have 2 bedrooms or 2 apartments stacked.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Yes, that would be the way our relationships would work out if they lived a floor above us, but they were still around.
Hey, I know you like me and I like you, and this is kind of hard to break to you, but I'm never going to live with anybody. So you can live below me. I have this space. Feel free to hang out there. You can sleep there. We'll get together. We'll hook up. But I'm going to go upstairs when we're done.
Yeah. Because I've always thought, because I haven't had roommates since, I left the dorms and then I kicked out the dude I was dating for 6 months. Well, we were dating longer, only lived together 6 months. But I haven't had roommates since the age of 21.
Yeah.
The only way I could go back is if it would be a 4-bedroom in the hood and there would be one other person in there that I would never see.
Yeah.
Because
That's the way to do it.
Because I have it in my mind. I would get like an $1,800 4-bedroom in Canaryville.
Yeah.
Leases under my name.
Yeah.
I get my own bedroom and my own office, and then I like tell some other dude that they're screwing me on the rent, and I make him pay like fucking $1,200 for his 2 bedrooms, which will still be a deal. Mm-hmm. Because he can have a video game room in a bedroom. He can have an office
What
bedroom.
he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. And so then from there, that's how I'd play it. And that's the only way that they wouldn't get on my nerves, is if the place was so big that I just wouldn't.
And economically you win.
Yeah,
like both
yeah,
of those things. You have to make money,
Yes.
but also the place is so big, I'm not even dealing with you.
If I am inconvenienced for 11 seconds, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like, I feel like the money thing's such a nice touch, because like you will eventually reach a point where it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. But you'll then remember the amount of money you're saving, and you'll be like, all right, well, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not paying any. I'm getting paid to live here.
Yeah.
That's essentially what's going to happen. But that's, yeah, you got a good strat. You got a good strategy, because that's probably what I need. I haven't lived with anybody since I lived with my sister, and that was it. I was trying to get somebody to move in just so I could save money, but I knew deep down in my heart I did not want that. I love living by myself. I don't have to answer to nobody for nothing. And I don't worry about anything. I don't worry about you doing whatever you're doing, because you're not doing it because you're not here.
Yeah.
Like, these are just people who have always lived this way. They don't think like that.
No.
Like, I think like that. I want complete freedom. I need it. It's what makes me capable of doing things.
Precisely.
You take that away from me, I'm going to start to like struggle.
The amount of space in your brain it takes to even have like someone else on your back burner, you realize that very
Bandwidth.
quickly.
Yeah, it's some bandwidth being taken out of your brain.
Because you don't think about it until you have to.
Exactly.
And then you realize the size.
Exactly. Like, I think I love mushrooms. I love psychedelics, and mushrooms in particular. And I know for a fact I like being by myself on mushrooms, because again, I told you, I'm like, I must be codependent. I don't know what it is. I'm attached to people. And if I'm on mushrooms, my entire everything is going to be thinking, oh, what's this person thinking? What's this person doing? Like, how should I tune myself to them? And I don't think any of that when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And then I have my own personal experience. Like, and I think that's how I like to experience it. I don't like worrying about other people. And if you live with someone, you're constantly, if you actually give a fuck, then you're constantly thinking in the back of your brain, like, oh, I don't want to fucking.
The way I relate to it is like when I was a little kid, I really didn't want anybody in my bedroom. And it's not that I was like hiding anything or like, I don't know. For me, my space is an extension of my mind.
Yeah.
And I do not want you in my fucking head asking me questions like you have any right to.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, my mind is now, it's not just my little bedroom, it's my house.
Yeah.
Like, this is
You know when I feel that for real is like, if you ever open up your phone in front of somebody and like they see your YouTube recommended or they see your Instagram like your whatever it's recommending to you, that is so revealing to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't want people to see what social media recommends. Like, now you know me on a level I didn't want you to know me. Like, YouTube in particular, my YouTube recommendations is embarrassing.
I have a whole separate YouTube account that I put on when friends are over.
There you go.
Because
You're safe.
my shit? Yeah. Oh.
It's like, why are they showing you this?
Well, because here's the thing with my YouTube is that I am aware that politically I make zero sense.
Yeah.
I know that I am all over the place, and I can't explain it to myself, let alone you.
Yeah.
So what if we just didn't go there? Because, like, I can't really explain to you why I care about fascism in Italy. But, like, what's Giorgia Meloni doing? I kind of need to know everything. Yeah. Like, I need to be weird in the privacy of my own weird.
Yes. Yeah. And it becomes a burden to have to make sense of it.
Well, because everyone's real liberal and saying, like, well, so long as you're not hurting anybody until you're fucking strange in their face.
Yes. I agree. Nobody wants actual, it's like the appeal to mental health.
Yeah.
Like, I think people say, oh, let's support mental health. But when you meet real crazy people, you're always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you really think about mental health and you really are worried about it, crazy people are crazy.
Yeah.
And you got to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You got to let them loose. Because
like,
that's, if you're really down with it, let's see how down with it you are.
Well, because my thing is, if your big cause is people who had a bad day twice, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
If you're not there for the woman who's having a conversation with an imaginary man on the train,
yeah,
you actually, you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. I just really think that, like, we need to be more considerate of people who have social anxiety. What if they shut the fuck up in public since they're going to cry about it? What if they just got used to no one hearing what they have to say since they don't have any balls? What about that? Like, like, no, like, you got to mean it or not.
And I think, like, if you want to understand mental health problems, you have to be able to fully empathize and get in the mind frame of somebody else if you want to really get it. And like I just recently heard Dr. Drew talking about this because I guess he's helped a ton of people with addictions. I didn't know he did all that. And he was talking about how you need you need a bullshit sensor because these people bullshit themselves even. So if you're like trying to talk to somebody who has serious mental issues, they got substance abuse issues, and they need help, you have to find a way to think even beyond, like you have to understand what's happening with them first and then figure out if they're even being real with you because they might just be using you. They might be trying to get something out of this. So there's so much happening where it's like, if you're not being realistic about it, you're never going to get to the bottom of the issue or understand this person. And that's what real mental health issues look like. They're a puzzle. Like you have to figure this person out. I mean, like,
and especially when your
like
brain,
you said, having a bad day, that's like the fucking the tip of the iceberg.
And especially when your brain has been rewired by decades of substance abuse and, you know, decades of alcohol. Even if you completely dry out and you get sober, you're not you anymore.
Yeah, you're something else.
There's not like, I have about every mental health diagnosis they can throw out of someone because that's what they do and they don't know what's up. I've been on real strong meds for a while. Like who I am now really has very little to do with who was around 15 years ago because so many things have been put into my body for so long that like there's just been a whole lot of different me's. Like if you're on antipsychotics for a long time, you get different. Like, and even if you were able to get off of them or whatever, like human body has limits. Like you kind of got to refigure out how to navigate that new you. Because, like, I mean, you can do enough drugs and drink enough that you give yourself an intellectual disability.
Absolutely.
Like,
pick a drug. It could be all of them. It could be any different one. Like, it's just too much of a good thing. And it's also, I think of it like a baseline. Like, there's certain biological things you cannot reject. And one of them is that your body has a baseline. And every time you use a drug, you're getting an effect out of the drug. And what happens? That baseline moves. And so say you be sober for a while. Well, if you've been high every single day and then you get sober, your baseline's way up here. And so it's going to be way harder for you to go cold turkey. Whereas like if you're the person that gets high just every now and then, your baseline's just kind of, it's only a little bit fucked with. But if you're somebody who's overindulging, you're and eventually the baseline becomes the reality and you just become that. And so it's so... I just feel like people, like with weed in particular, you'll see so many people reject this idea. Like, oh, other drugs are drugs, but weed is different. Anybody can just quit weed. And that's just so patently false to me. Because if you're somebody who smokes all the time, it's very difficult for you to stop smoking. Just quit for a week. Just see how easy it is. If you smoke every day and then you just quit, your baseline's way up here. And you are going to be like depressed. You can't sleep the same way. You don't think the same way because you're so used to this. And you could pick anything. It could be caffeine. Just stop drinking caffeine for 5 days. It'll fuck you up. You'll be like, why do I feel dead? And it's because you're so wired 24/7. You don't even know you're wired. And so to me, and caffeine's like the one where it's socially acceptable. So everybody's just kind of used to it. But that one is crazy. Because I mean, like, if you're like me, you drink coffee every day. I feel like an inner sanctitude when I don't drink coffee. It's like, whoa. It was like I was moving so fast, and then now I'm just something else. It's crazy how much it affects you. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I think it's being conscious of those things, being honest about it. Like you have to just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, because people tell themselves that things aren't what they are so they can live with it. And that gets to a very dangerous road and you get a lot of bullshit on top of bullshit. But like, again, like we were saying earlier, if you can just accept that you like McDonald's and that doesn't make it good. If you can accept like, this is how I'm handling it. I'm not saying it's a great way. This is what I'm doing. It is what I've decided. I'm sure that this is going to get fucked up, but it is what's going on.
At least you're in reality.
Yeah.
Because it's like the delusion that's dangerous. It's that false. It's like a house of cards, and you're just waiting for something to pull out the bottom card, and the whole thing comes tumbling down. Yeah.
Don't and then also when you're deluded, you're much more resistant to change.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, I feel like if I'm talking about like addressing bigoted behavior, whether you'd call it racism or homophobia or whatever. You can actually have, believe it or not, a bit more of a conversation with a conservative because they will deal with the other person as an individual and they're aware that they've got fucked up shit in their head. So they'll at least listen like, okay, yeah, I have heard that before. Like, okay, this ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone who's very liberal will be a lot more hesitant when they're challenged because they think they have it all figured out.
Yeah.
They think like, I don't know what you're talking about. If it's wrong, if I'm doing something wrong, you should be thankful.
Yeah.
Like it's this sense of when you are aware you've got room to grow, you'll listen. If you think you have it all figured out, fuck you.
Yeah. And then you're never going to grow. You're never going to change. You're never going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just,
So you've got to like stay out of the delusion of, I'm a good white person. I'm a good straight person. Just shut up. Like what you are is an adult in the world.
Yeah.
What you are is a human being who's trying to not be too much of a fuck.
I like to think
Can we
that
start there?
you don't have ideas have you.
Yes.
Like ideas just and don't get attached to them. Like they come and go, and ideas will have you for a while. They'll have a group of people for a while. Ideas just find their way to people, and it's up to people to then pick: is this idea right or wrong? Is this idea like true or not? And to evaluate yourself in that way. To think, I've been saying this forever. Do I really think that? What's that?
Just doing a quick time check.
Oh, you're good. Right now, I can tell you. Right now, it is 1:50. But we got like 5-10 minutes. We can wrap it up.
Cool.
But yeah. So I just feel like if it's like thinking about yourself that way, thinking I am not my ideas, and I am not. Ideas are just things that have happened to me, and maybe I think this thing, and maybe I'm wrong. And like whenever you hear, like I think looking at the world as a mirror is a much more powerful way to look at the world. Like, oh, well, that thing upsets me, but what does that reflect in me that it upsets me for? Like, why am I getting upset by this? And more often than not, it is just something within, and maybe you're upset by the thing, rightfully so, but it's like turning that into something and understanding yourself better rather than just saying that's wrong. Like to me, it's much more powerful to understand yourself through the world and to let ideas flow through you in that way. Like, what is happening? Why does this idea resonate with me? Because if you just think of yourself as your ideas, you become this analog. You become like, oh, I identify with, I have to be that. And then you start to fill in the blanks and make things up because you have to be that. You can't be anything else. You don't want them to think you're anything else.
Because I'm a rapper, I have to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Because I do stand up, I have to be this kind of guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the way you talk about ideas is more how I relate to emotions, actually.
Interesting.
I think that...
I think ideas are emotions.
I can go with that.
They start there, and then we rationalize them.
Because, and I'm aware, this is a very... You don't really hear people talk like this outside of evangelical Christianity. I'm just going to be like flat, that is where I got this. But I was really raised to believe that you treat your emotions like the weather. And that to say, I'm sad, so I can't, is like saying, well, it's raining outside, so I just have to stay soaked.
Wow.
No, come inside from the rain. Let's build a fire. Like to stay in your state is to completely remove yourself of your agency. Wow. To say, I'm sad, so it's over. I'm mad at you, so I have to behave like this. You hurt me, so I'm going to be like this. Well, you should really be guided a little bit more by your morals and by your principles and by your values and what you actually think is right, because your feelings are going to change. There's something that you get through. Because a life that is ruled by your feelings, you have no control.
Yeah.
You have no control whatsoever. You have no consistency.
You're just like a ship without a sail. Yeah. You're just letting the tides take you.
Your feelings are something you notice but get through.
Yeah.
Like, if I lived a life that was ran by my feelings, I wouldn't have a lot of the accomplishments that I have, because if you can't do shit that's hard while you're miserable and don't want to do it, what are you actually going to achieve in life?
Yeah.
Like,
and there's always going to be a hard time.
Like, I remember one of my exes, I was hanging out with her at my place, and it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I had already put on my ugly clothes. I kind of just wanted to cuddle on the couch, watch a movie, and like not do anything. And I got a text message from by the way, before we got on the couch and stuff, I was just, I'm so grateful I don't have a show tonight. I fucking hate comedy. Like, I don't care if I don't do stand up again for a month. And
God must have heard you.
And then the owner of the comedy bar texts me, and she's like, can you come here tonight? Like, and it's like an hour before the show. So like, I need to say yes, no, and then get moving. Like,
because
right
if you don't respond, that's even worse. Because now you're a comic who doesn't respond when they ask.
Well, and then also, like, if you're in a tough spot and you reached out to me, like, you clearly need something. Like, I just courtesy. And so I was literally wanting to do nothing, grateful to do nothing, just complaining about comedy. And I got the text, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I have to change, I'm going.
Nature calls.
And she said that she really saw that as like, that inspired her on a certain level.
Who did?
My ex-girlfriend, because she was there with me and we went there together. Because she was like, oh, wow, you don't have to want to do any of this shit for it to like be what gets done. Like, you can go to work with the hangover. You can like run the race with the broken ankle. Like, if you what you feel like doing and what you want has very little to do with anything.
Yeah.
And just seeing like that kind of commitment to, this is why I moved here. Every chance I get to do it, I will. Fuck me and my faggot ass feelings.
And so many people wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
That's what's inspiring, is so many people would just, fuck it, I'm not going tonight. I don't want to go tonight. So to see somebody really do it, like, it lights a fire under people, in my opinion. It's why, like, people who are genuinely creative and are genuinely consistent are so there's just something universally recognized by that about that. Anybody can look at that and see that they, whether you like it or not, whether you're into what they're doing or not, they're consistent.
Yeah.
And they always try and they always keep going. And that is just, every human can feel it. They know what that is.
Absolutely.
Because like, everybody knows what it's like to quit, and everybody knows what it's like to just give up. And we've all, that's most people, is they just trying different things, and it's hard to find something you stick with. And it's so hard. That's the problem of life, is what do you really want from it? What are you really going to do? And so you see, I get so tired. Like, if I'm talking with somebody, like doing this show, and they say to me, I want to start a podcast. The only thing I'll say is, you should get started. You should try it and do like 10 episodes and just figure out how to do it. I don't want to give them any more in-depth advice, because I don't think they're actually going to do it. I don't believe them.
If you actually want to do something, you're going to be too busy chasing it to go get advice.
You're not even going to be thinking about asking. Yeah, you're just going to do it. You're just going to do it. It's like why motivational speakers are this interesting thing, because most of the people who really who are really getting stuff done, they would never listen to a motivational speaker. They don't need that. They know all that stuff.
That's why when young comics, like when they come up to me and they ask me, so like, how do you write? Like, what do you do? I said, well, I normally start with a pencil.
Because that's an honest answer.
Well, and it's also like, if you have shit to say, you're just not going to ask anybody.
You're just going to write it down.
If you're supposed to do this, if you've got something on your mind, if you know what, like, if you really have it in you, you're going to be chasing it way too hard to pester anybody with like advice and all this stuff.
You won't need that.
No. And that doesn't mean that good people don't have to listen. It means when you're hungry, you eat. You don't ask everyone what they like on the menu and what they cooked for dinner last night and how they feel about asparagus.
And if you
when you're hungry, you eat.
You eat. And if you haven't figured that out yet, later you'll get hungry.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out then.
Yeah. You get more into the advice and the questions and the like relying on your peers 2, 4, 6 years in when you're past the hunger point. And you know enough to ask real questions. Like, how am I supposed to write a joke? I don't know. How'd you learn how to ride a bike? Like, get away from me. But questions of like, okay, so like when you're on the road and you've never been to the market before and you don't know anyone who's from there, what do you like look for to start talking to the audience? Because I don't want to be a hack and say nobody knows how to drive. Like, what do you pay attention to? Do you read their paper? Like, do you talk to the booker? Like, that's a real question about being a headliner. How do I say hello to people that I've never met because I know how to do it here? You travel more than I do. What do you do? That's a real question. That's experience based. That's not, why is the sky blue? Because how do you write a joke as a why is the sky blue type question?
And it's fundamentals.
But asking like, what's the temperature difference between the sky and the earth when it goes from like rain to hail all at once? Okay, you're asking me a real question. There's numbers. People can measure that. That's a thing.
And it shows thought behind the question. Even like you have to know a certain amount to even know to ask that question. Like one thing I saw a comedian ask somebody else is like, I'm going to this city and I'm playing this show. Would it be appropriate for me to then message that booker and say I'll be in the city? And like, is that appropriate? Or do I look like an amateur if I do that? To me, that's a good question. Because it's like, okay, you're showing, for one, if you're asking the question, you know the difference between like a random ass comic and somebody with experience, because you don't want to look like that. But also, you know that there's those politics that play. You know that all that stuff is a thing, and bookers look at that type of, some look at it like favoringly, some don't. So you need to ask somebody with real life experience, how does this place operate? Because like that's showing that you're worried and you're concerning yourself with the right things.
I think a good rule for performers when they're looking for advice from other people in the industry, you need to stop and think to yourself, is the question you're about to ask them a question that a fan could ask? If it's not more detailed than that, you're wasting their time. You're not having a professional conversation with a professional.
Interesting.
You're kind of like sucking their dick.
I look at that like, again, with like the interview thing and like getting people to open up, it's showing that you actually give a fuck, like showing that you're actually curious and you actually want to know. Because there's so many of those basic questions. Like you'll see people, like if I had a musician in here, you can start with basic questions, but you want to dig. So it's like I could ask you, what's your favorite song you've ever written? And that's a basic question. But if you have like an interesting answer, okay, let's get into that. Let's talk about that. But it's like you can't just ask a series of fucking boring questions. Because now you're now it shows you don't really know what this is. You just know that, oh, that's this person. It'd be like if you came in here and I only asked you shit like, oh, what was your worst bomb ever? Oh, tell me about your first open mic. What was that like? You know.
Thank you for not asking me how I started this. Thank you.
But I do often do that. I do often do it because to me it's a jumping off point. It's not about how you started. It's about what you can give me and tell me about yourself, that then we can go somewhere with it. And so often people just fuck that up and they just ask something boring and then don't even take it and use any. They just go, oh, okay. Okay, well, how about this? They just fucking move to the next one. And you just watch somebody kind of light up and they kind of gave you something and then they wanted to keep going and you just fucking, you just steamroll right over it. I've seen it a million times. And I think it's just it shows you're not actually curious and you don't actually want to know. You're just going through the motions.
People will say things like, after the third divorce, I tried to kill myself. So I heard you bought a new house.
It's like, let's talk about the murder. Let's talk about the murder. Let's talk about the divorce and you wanting to die. Let's talk about this stuff. That's interesting. We just tapped into something. And so it's like, that's, to me, it's just kind of sad. It's like sad when you see that. To me, it's just sad because I saw Sean Evans, the interviewer. He said one of he does Hot Ones, and I saw him say the way he comes up with questions is he'll watch people in interviews and he'll look for those moments. He'll look for a moment when somebody missed something and the person wanted to talk about it more, and but they didn't get the opportunity to, because that's the stuff that lights people up. And I thought like that's a very thoughtful way to come up with questions. Like look for what they want to say, but they didn't get the chance to say. Because people they do want to talk about themselves and they do want to talk about their experiences. They just don't want to they don't want to feel like this is a fake interaction. They don't want to feel like, oh, you're just doing what you think you're supposed to do. Because that's not unique. There's nothing unique about that.
there's also nothing, not only is it not unique, ultimately, it's not valuable.
It's not valuable.
It defeats the purpose of an interview, because if it was just a commercial, if it was just advertisement, it could be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to walk away with information I didn't have.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to walk away feeling differently.
Yeah. And learning something. Yeah, learning something, and it could be anything. But I think that's what's cool about art, is that you can teach someone something, and you can go back and look at that same piece of art and learn something new if it's done right. 5 or 10 years later, you have a more mature perspective, and you can look at that same art, and if the art's not on the nose and it's not just doing something functional, but it's actually getting at something, almost always you have a new experience when you go back and look at it. And anything can be that if done right, if done openly. But if it's like if I just guided this experience in such a way, I just took all of that out, and now it's just what it is. There's nothing to discover. And I think it's just, I think that people are infinitely interesting. So it's like, how do you get there with somebody? And it's like I was saying earlier about finding it, right? It's like if I have a predetermined way of that this is going to go, and I've obsessed over it, and it's got to be from here to here to here, then you'll never find something with somebody. It's going to be my guidance, and we're going to do whatever I'd planned, and that's going to be it. And I find that most of the magic is in the moment. It's like figuring it out. And so I can't even do that if I tried. I've tried to have questions, and only one time ever have I had a bunch of bullet point questions for a podcast and actually managed to just go through all of them and treat it like an interview. Because almost every time I'll have my questions, I'll ask fucking 2 of them, and then we'll just end up talking the whole time. And that to me is what's cool. So
that's how I am with a long set. I go up on stage with a legal pad that has bullet points from top to bottom. There's 30 topics on there. I look at it twice.
Long
I get to
set being 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not taking notes up on stage for anything under 30. And I don't need notes to do. I've done an hour 10 before dry.
So you kind of over prepare when you make them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
This entire job for me is over preparation. I write like a wild animal to look like the best improviser in town.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. And it's really funny. I've been doing this for a long time, and people that have been around for a while will be like, I loved all the new shit tonight. Honey, that's 3 years old. And I am such a good actor that you didn't notice.
Wow.
But that's part of the job, is being deeply and seriously over prepared to drop it like it's nothing. So if I'm going to do an hour on stage, I'm going to plan an hour 15, because what if the audience does not want to hear my race material?
Yeah.
What if my family bores the piss out of them?
Yeah.
I need to have more than what I'm going to need.
And over prepare.
Yeah. And again, I probably look down 3 times over the course of the evening, but it's the security blanket.
Yeah. And knowing that it's there, but knowing that you don't need it is even more secure. Knowing that it's only there if we absolutely just got to go back to the well.
It's like Bill Hicks said, your act is the last resort.
Wow, I've never heard that.
Yeah, Bill Hicks said that.
That's awesome.
Bill Hicks said that you wrote an act to hopefully not use it.
He's a great example too, because he's such a good. He must have been doing that, just talking half the time, because he's kind of just like a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, be in the moment.
Yeah,
and when it's too hard to be in the moment, or when the moment's not giving you what you need, that's what the act's for.
Incredible.
But then you try and get back into the moment. You try and get back to where they are.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm on stage, because I really try to do that mix of improvisational and written, I feel like I am the chef. I'm cooking and I know how to cook, but the audience is the ingredients.
Yes.
And so wherever I'm at emotionally and wherever they're at with their storage date in the fridge, we
gonna make a recipe.
That's how I make the show, because that I have control over me. That sense of control I talked about earlier, and that sense of trustworthiness, the control is over me and the trustworthy is to them. I can't control them, and I cannot force a sense of trust from them to me.
Yeah. No matter how hard you try.
Yeah. Because I can walk out, and I do think comics have to have some of this. You have to have Okay, every comic is in touch with their inner 4-year-old and their inner 13-year-old boy. You need to have your inner 4-year-old that wakes up every day and says, every person I meet wants to be my friend. Every day is going to be a good day. Every adult is trusting. Every kid's going to want to play with me. You need to have that 4-year-old in there. And then you also need the 13-year-old that thinks butts are really funny.
Yeah.
But like that little kid that genuinely like still has that hope because they haven't been smashed yet, you still have to hold on to a tiny bit of that with audiences. Yeah. Just that little bit of like, they're really going to want to play blocks with me. I just know it.
Yeah. I've heard somebody say, wants to be childlike, not childish. I love that.
Yes.
I love that so much. Because childish is bad.
Yeah.
But childlike is good. Mm-hmm. If you're childish, like, oh my God, you're a nightmare. Yeah. But if you're childlike, you have that curiosity and you never let go of it.
Yeah, it's that curious hope.
Yeah, but you can't allow that to blind you. It's like, because then it's just anything. Then I think then you're irresponsible. So it's like showing that you're capable of both. And like I think with an audience, they want to play. Like they want to play. It's just how playful are you going to be? And so if you're going to be playful and lead us, show us the way, we'll play right back with you. You know. And I think it's as humans, we're designed in a way where it's always another group and we're outside the group. And how do I get in the group? And like as kids, we learn. So you learn that on the playground. You see those kids hanging out. Oh, am I cool? And most of the time, if you're the kid who just goes and jumps in the circle, they all accept you. And you figure that out. But if you always go through your life not going into the circle, you'll get this idea built up. Like, oh, that's them. That's not me. And you're never going to join any group that way. Like, and most groups accept you. Most of the time, they want more people. But it's like you have to throw yourself in. You just got to dive in. And it's scary.
What I'll say, like, as we wrap up here on that, like on this conversation about comedy and like how all that works, it reminds me of what a friend told me very early on in my journey here in stand-up, is that with Chicago comedy, with the scene here, once it becomes clear that we can't get rid of you, you're family.
Yeah.
Once like we all can tell that like you mean it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in.
No matter how much of a nuisance you are, no matter how counterintuitive it seems, you know, you might be the person where it's like, how did they make it in Chicago of all places? But it's just because they just did it long enough where they're sticking around. We know they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, when you're here, you're family. It's like Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful. You get a really diverse cast of characters that way because you just get anybody at that point. It'll be like literally... Like I literally do. Yeah. Now that I think about it, Chicago's got a beautiful diversity, probably because of that. Because we just accept anything. We're just okay with it all.
Like if you mean it,
yes,
and like you're not gonna disappear as soon as shit gets hard. Like once you've survived that first year, like okay, we'll make space for you to be weird somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter how weird you are or how off the wall you are.
I remember like in 2017, she never did like book shows or anything, but there was a little girl who, and I say little girl because she was literally like 18 and a half. She would bring her pet rat to open mics.
Yeah.
She would put it in the front pocket of her hoodie and then bring it out as her closer and walk away. Like, you get to be Sarah Sherman, who's on SNL right now. When she was at Kohl's, she used to do a bit where, like, she'd talk about all the things that turned her on, and then she'd pull a bag of pubes out of her jacket.
Yeah.
Like, you get to, if you mean it, and you're not fucking around, you get to be weird.
Yeah. But at first, you're proving yourself. At first, it's like, yeah, they're doing that. Will they be doing it 6 months from now? Is she going to keep bringing that rat to the mic? Let's find out.
Yeah, like, I ran around looking like Black Liberace, sounding like, you know, Joan Rivers, and they were just like, I think he's like, yeah, you know what? Bring him over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you ain't going to see it nowhere else.
Yeah. I mean,
you're never gonna see Rat Girl nowhere else.
That's so funny because I that has been my experience 100%. I'm literally the rapper who forces himself upon the open mics. They accept me, but I earn it.
Yes,
like they accept me, but I know most people couldn't do this.
Yes.
Okay, most people they would be everybody going, oh God, but they accept me because I prove it. That's the only reason I'm accepted by these people. I know that's what's happening, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You got to make it okay. You got to make it so it's like, you know what? All right, I've seen this long enough.
We're with them. We're with them.
No one deserves to succeed. Everyone deserves the opportunity to work their ass off.
Yeah. And
you got the chance to earn it.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
And
good.
And that's often the answer when you see people who are like, I don't get it. Like, they're not super talented. They're not super anything, but somehow they're getting all this recognition. Often the answer is just they work hard.
Yeah.
They just try hard.
I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything other than the opportunity to work like a wild animal.
Yeah.
Like, I want the shot to be able to try really hard.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed success, not some sort of curved grade because I check an identity box or whatever. No. I want to be able to play with the big boys. I want to find out if I can.
Yeah.
I want to be able to work that hard.
Yeah.
Give me the shot to, don't preclude me from the opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't deserve everything in the world, but let me put my hat in the ring.
Yeah. And it feels good to know you earned it when you're in that situation. Like when you have that shot finally and you just think of all the shit you had to eat to get there.
Give
it
me
makes
a
it mean
chance
something.
to show you if I'm good or not. Because if I suck, I'll suck no matter what I'm doing or what's wrong with me or what's right with me. But like, let me show you. Give me the shot to be able to show you. And then I'll earn it or lose it fair and square, and I can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, again, that risk. It's knowing there's a risk that makes it mean something. Like knowing that shot is valuable is what makes it so awesome. Because it's like, oh, this could fail. Like, this could go completely wrong for me. And that's where you want to be. Exactly where everything could go wrong. Like that's a good feeling in my mind. Oh, this is risky. Like I don't know if I deserve this. And that's when you win in that scenario, when you win, you're like, oh, I'm the fucking man.
You find out what you're made out of.
Yeah. So the way we'll end this show, we end it the same way every time, is one, you got to tell the kids. This show is obviously for 3 to 5 year olds. That's my target demographic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're about to get off the school bus and they need advice from you. So what you're going to give your advice to the little toddlers that are listening. They're about to take out their earbuds or whatever kids have now. My new phone, I just got it. It doesn't have a fucking headphone jack. So I guess kids are probably using earbuds now.
I think.
AirPods, whatever you fuck. I'm more of a,
like the basketball movie with the dog. I'm screaming.
Airbuds.
They have golden retrievers.
Now my
in their
age
ears.
is showing. That's what's happening. It's my age coming out. So you got to give the advice to these kids.
Okay.
And second, the social media is where people can find you. They spent all this time with you. They might as well spend a little bit more where they can find your specials, YouTube, whatever they're typing in on there. All that good stuff. The floor is yours.
Okay, if I could give any advice to the young kids that are getting off the school bus from daycare, my little 3, 5, 4-year-old friends, I would say that you should know that if you vape, it's going to stunt your growth, but that's fine because everything's cute when it's small.
Ooh.
So vape now. That would be my advice to a 4-year-old.
Good advice.
Just give them a vape and they can be cute forever.
Yeah. I mean, no longitudinal studies yet, but this is pure instinct that we're going off of.
Everything's cute when it's small.
Yeah.
And then...
That's just a fact.
Yeah. I mean, that's why women laugh at little dicks.
Adorable.
He is precious.
I didn't know they made them that small.
Snookums over video.
Can I pet it?
Yeah, so if you're 4 years old, please vape. And also, if you can't decide a favorite flavor, just do 2 at the same time. Strawberry on one side, banana on the other. Like, make your dreams come true.
Wow. You're just full of ideas.
Yeah. And then for social media, my website, my Instagram, and my TikTok are Who's Matt Brown, WHOS Matt Brown, like a Jeopardy question.
Probably what you've been thinking this whole time.
Who the fuck is Matt Brown? So yeah, that's where you can find me. I also have a Substack at Who's Matt Brown.
Do you write on there often?
I not as often as I would like to, but I've had some success on there. I wrote an article about Margaret Cho that she actually really liked and shared.
Cool.
So yeah, on my Substack, I mainly talk about comedy and more personal essays.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's cool that you're doing multiple things like that, because I think essay writing is just something that like most people would never even think of doing, but it's such a good way to like flex your brain. It's like if you just, and also I'll say with ChatGPT, what I've learned is if you want to write an essay, it's really good as a research tool, because you could like tell it the idea of the essay and kind of let it know where you're going to go with it. And it'll fucking like just do half the work for you with the research. It'll give you everywhere to look. Like if That's one like amazing. Like I was getting into writing essays and I just completely fell off. And that was like the tool I was using. It fucking blew me away because it would just tell me all these philosophers to look into and all this shit, and it would lead me the direction I wanted to go. But the place people go wrong is they let it write it for you. Now, never do that. Write the essay yourself, but let it kind of because writing essays is that there's a form and there's a certain level of like if you're writing, especially if you're trying to write in an educational sense, if you're trying to write in a argumentative sense, like you're trying to argue a point, there's a reason that we have a formula. And so I just think like it's a great way to write non-ironically too, not write outside of these other forms. Like if you're writing in music, you're writing in a journal, even there's something personal. It's the presentation that makes it so different. I think essay writing is something everybody should do.
Absolutely.
I really think it's like you take yourself seriously.
It's the best way to figure out what you think and how you think about something.
Because it's written. It's written. So it's like when you put it on paper, it's like, oh, I'm making a statement now, rather than like you just throwing shit out there.
I don't like him as a human being. I don't think he's great. But Jordan Peterson, his essay writing guide is probably the most free help you will ever get about academic writing.
I didn't know he had a guide.
Because he used to be a psychology professor. Yeah. He was a good professor. He's just an odd man.
Maps of meaning is, I think that stuff is still super valuable.
You can be a good professor and a strange man. Like that's, I had a lot of them. But yeah, his essay writing guide's actually very, very helpful. Just because the goal is that clarity of thought.
Yeah, the clarity of thought. One thing I heard Jordan Peterson say that I don't know if I've heard from anywhere else is like when you learn how to speak your own thoughts, you become much more powerful. And I think that is so true. And it's clarity of thought. It's developing your own clarity that makes you more powerful in the world, because when you know what you are and you can express I think so much of life, so much of people's anxiety and depression and all this stems from they don't even know how to express themselves. They don't know what these ideas are. They don't know how to put them out there.
And you learn how to do that through reading and writing. And for anyone who is hesitant with reading, that they feel like it's a struggle, they feel like they've lost their attention span, what I would encourage you to do is to remember how much you have learned from podcasts, and then remember that if you actually like really know how to read, you can read twice as fast as you can listen.
Yeah.
So like how much you do or don't know is really up to what you are willing to get over.
Yeah.
If you can get through the attention span hump, you're going to put in twice as much information to your head easier. Yeah. It's up to you.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful ideas being spread here today on Oh man, I fucked it up. Hold on. I'm gonna start a little better, guys. I fucked it up. I could see that it wasn't gonna happen, so hold on.
Must have a hernia.
Must have a hernia. Must be performance anxiety. I got a boner right now. Here we go.
Thank you.
That's all today here on Radio. Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess.